showing us
Ew, why the fuck is he doing it?
because he's the new host and we have to have him do it at least once.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say? Hi, welcome to the Weekly Recruit.
Hi, my name's Shane. I have
We're
a
doing a Weekly
massive
Recruit
cock.
episode right now. I'm your host, Clancy, or Shane, actually. Sorry. Yeah, everyone else sound off.
Mic check.
Yeah, I'm Milky. We've got Enders here. We've got Noah with us, and then
Yo,
We've
I'm
got-
Noah.
our beautiful guest, Martyr. Say hello.
Hello. How's everybody doing today?
5-0.
I feel
We're
like death.
alive.
It's 5-0. I mean,
Yeah, right. None of us will really do. I'm the only one who had a good day, I guess.
Yeah, I played like shit, but easy dub.
yeah,
Oh, man.
I didn't feel like I played very well either, but lead if I said I did. So
Right,
all
right,
that
Yeah,
right.
that's right. I haven't actually checked that yet. I'm gonna pull that up.
Hey, it all comes down to cast, guys. How'd you do? How'd you do? What's everybody at?
You know,
valid.
let's actually. I want to pull out the graphs on that one.
Yeah, Rye uploaded it right away.
Yeah, Rye had that shit unlocked. Let me check. Stats.
Well, she popped off. I'm sure she's like, yeah, let me see how much I fucked.
Hmm.
I forgot that was there.
Wait,
I.
do they even know that it's live? We say
I sent
Did we
it in
tell
the
them?
recruit
Why?
chat.
Cool.
Um,
Okay, I had an 83% cast and a 1.14, but I
You'll
played
take that.
horribly. So
Hey, but
Yeah,
we
there
want
we
14
go.
enemies flashed. Oh, support era has
Hey.
begun.
You're finally getting those numbers up.
He's
Mr.
finally a
Five
team
Flashes.
player. Good job, everybody.
Shane, all I have to say is, you are one lucky motherfucker. I'm sick because
I
let
was
me
sick
be
too. I was sick match day fucking 4, bro, and I'm still recovering today.
motherfucker. Were you running a 104 fever match day 4?
That's tough, buddy. No, I was
That
sick.
is tough.
It keeps going up. 102, 103, 104.
All right.
What was it,
well,
Enders? What was it, really?
It's been 104 this entire time.
He's just
Well, you know-
gaslighting us. He's like, I wasn't really sick.
I'm gonna be honest. If your fever isn't hitting your 80 yards, then are you kind of trolling?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, what the
fuck
heck?
you.
Doing a horrible job. Okay, should we jump into the matches here, guys?
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's hit it.
All right. What do we want to start with first?
The top of the list. Dead
I mean,
beats
if we're-
hell.
Yeah. Okay.
An absolute smoke show.
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
Complete upset.
Oh, dude.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know Hell was coming in pretty hot, saying that this is their turnaround, especially after the 13-1 against Cal last week, or my last match day. Sorry. But I mean, holy fuck! I mean, they'd fucking drop the ball. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, having one T round and
On
that was it,
Anubis?
Yeah, on Anubis too, right?
Um,
Like, yeah.
especially also on an Anubis that Rift Raiders have now been 13-0, 13-3. Like and then this game is in their favor. Like they've been dominated on Anubis. So I felt like, Hell probably had some confidence going in, like, oh, we're just gonna dominate them like the other two teams, but clearly like Deadbeats put some time in on those maps, on that map, I should say. Also the pickup of Tez,
I was gonna say we gotta
Dude.
address the elephant in the room.
massive.
Guy had 120 ADR. Anytime someone's dropping 100,
I knew someone was looking
it
at
got
Tez. I know a few teams were, and
Yeah.
it was painful to be like, "Hey, yeah, Tez is a great player, and you should pick him up." Because it was like, "Fuck, I know what's gonna happen when they do. He's gonna be Tez, and he's gonna perform
Yeah, man. Tez performed well for you guys,
fantastic. Performed well against us last match day as well."
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Tez is a huge pickup for them there, to be honest with you. And with this
The only
turnaround-
thing.
Oh, go ahead, Jackson.
Sorry, I was just gonna say the only thing that sucks about the Tez pickup and the fact that he's doing this good is that he's unfortunately going to be missing 4 match days near the end of the season.
I was going to say, I do know that I have heard that he does have some scheduling issues towards the end. So, I don't know if that's
Should be pointed out that's end
100%.
of regular season.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say, I remember it being brought up that is specifically for playoffs. So I wonder if Deadbeats is maybe taking that into fact, of like maybe we'll just play out and like improve as a player, improve the group so we can go forward into next season. But I mean, if this is a team that still has, postseason goals, you can't have your top frag be the one to leave. Like the FA pool isn't going to get any bigger, from now until then. So like, how are you
Unless they
supposed
do
to?
some conversions.
Well,
But yeah, but still, how are you going to fill the gap of the player that just
Yeah.
carried
I
you?
believe there's still what 6 match days left now after this. So
Yeah,
if the boys can come in and secure themselves a playoff spot, maybe they don't really care if they win those last few regular season games, right? I mean, obviously you want to win them all, but like,
Oh, I thought you said it was playoffs that he can't make.
no,
Regular
it's
season.
regular season. So
Oh,
if they can lock a
scratch
position
that.
in, yeah, exactly. Like, why would they care too much if they can, I mean, you get a better seed, that's a big thing, but
But at least you
I
get to
mean,
play.
yeah, at least you get to make playoffs.
Yeah, I
They want
definitely
to
think.
avoid play-in as well if they can, because if they can avoid the play-in and then also get what seems to be their star fragger, like I don't want to talk too soon. He's played for 2 games, but like I know Tez
Right.
is one hell of an aimer. If they can get
Yeah,
him back in time for playoffs and they don't have to do play-ins, they're gonna be feeling pretty damn good about that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, they do have they've got quite the journey, and I know it's not a lie there for that. So, but it is only match day 5, so I mean, they've got some ground to cover, but it's definitely doable. I feel, especially with now Tez, performing right. I mean, like right now, thanks to the new standings page on CSC, they're sitting at 11. So right now they are just out of the postseason picture. But I mean, like they can easily move up, to that 9, 8 spot depending on how their next set of games go. So, and then hopefully even move up more than that to try to avoid the play-ins.
hmm One other thing I want to talk about with this game as well. So Sapphire top of the leaderboard. I honestly not surprised at this point. Um, but 41% headshot as the opper on the team. Was she just not able to get the op or what? Because that's great. I had 0% today.
Yeah, that's got to be maybe she was having a rifle a little bit more. I mean, if you look at eco, I mean, they were probably only ever getting enough. Like they were probably saving so then they could get a full rifle buy, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, I can't imagine that she never probably ever brought it out because if you stack that times 4 loss bonus, you save 1 round, like you have like 7K for each person. So it's like you
Mhm.
could definitely probably get the op out.
Mhm.
But maybe maybe it just wasn't working when she did get it out, because like if looking at the stats, it genuinely looks like Sapphire was playing on one side of the map and her teammates were other points and they just died. And like then she just
Yeah.
has to like kill the whole team. I mean, that's just how I'm reading it. I mean, Goblin and Deathhawk both going, Goblin's going 6-12, Deathhawk 9-16. It definitely probably seems like if they were playing together, they were just kind of getting stomped. Or if they
Right.
were, I wonder if they were, I know when we played them, I don't know about when you guys played them, Shane and Milky, but they were a very default heavy team on their T side. They tried to
True.
play for like the CTs to aggress, but like clearly, like, why do you have to do that? Right. And then that kind of like throws away Hell's kind of game plan there and doesn't really get their top players to activate. I'd say the biggest shocker here, in my opinion, is Doxic only going 10-14.
I noticed that
Like,
too, yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
shocked that
And
there
not
was.
just 10 and 14, but 10 and 14 with sub 70 ADR. That like
Yeah,
it's narrow. It's basically 70, but like
right.
not the numbers that you're looking for there.
Yeah,
Well, I think a lot of that goes down to the scoreline's 13, right? Like obviously they just
Mhm.
weren't getting kills in general.
yeah. I mean, it
And
really
even if it
seems like
was just 2 people, it would just be a closer match. They'd still lose that game, right?
it
Well, you can
seems as
say they
though it's
weren't getting round wins, but they got bombed down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times on their T side. So like they were getting into sites and they were getting into post plant situations, but it must have been a lot of 1vx situations.
yeah. I
So
mean,
not really looking so hot there.
looking at the
Yeah.
1vx's, Tez has 3 and 1con has
Mhm.
2. Right. So
Because it's so close.
it really seems like Tez probably just walked into a site and killed 3 of them. Like I mean, like I mean, that's what it looks like, or like killed
Props
2
to
of them.
Tez.
Um.
God, what a player.
So I definitely
Love that
think
guy.
I personally think that Hell maybe talked too big for their pants. I definitely think that this loss doesn't necessarily knock them like off their mental horse. I think, but like in terms of like just standings in general, I think it definitely knocks them off. But I'm excited to see where they take it in the future because I think it is a solid team. I just think that they haven't clicked like
I think this loss says more about
deadbeats.
deadbeats than it does about
Hell,
hell. I think
Right.
that that deadbeats pickup was huge. They're gonna be a force to contend with for the rest of the season.
Right.
And I think that Acolytes had a tough day. They were playing Anubis for the second time this season. They're now 0 for 2 on that map, so probably going to be looking at workshopping some stuff there. But again, like I don't think that this says as much about them as it does about the fact that Rift
Deadbeats.
Raiders just had a huge pop off, and it looks like Tez really had some insane impact in the clutch.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
100%.
I'm really happy for him, man. I mean,
Mhm.
take him from my franchise's side, right? Being able to come back from that heavy of a loss streak is huge. Most times, it's hard for teams to come back from something like that and actually still have their head in the game. And frankly, I couldn't be happier for them. I'm glad they were able to show up today, especially Tez. Oh my god. Because holy cow, being able to
Absolutely.
actually being that very loud voice in your team's head that we can do this
Yeah,
is huge.
absolutely. I definitely.
Of course, you'd say "Holy cow."
Hey, Moo, gotta represent. Come on.
I definitely smell a little season 12 Nan. Ender's Milky, if you get what I'm
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah,
I do get what you're
I
cooking.
kind of also smell that in the current Nan, so we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I do also smell that in the current Nan, but we'll get to it as well. But yeah, like they did snag the one win match day 2 off ATL, and then losing the next 2 in a row. Like they're still in a very good spot, and I think with the pickup, like it's only room to grow, right? So I'm definitely I want to see more from both teams for sure. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Definitely.
I guess that makes it.
Uh,
Go ahead, Anders.
I did see in chat somebody asked to explain the flags. I'm just here to show solidarity for my boy Martyr. Figured
Mhm.
I would go out and rep my pan self. Martyr, do you want to explain your flag for you?
God, what can I say? What can I say? That's the better question.
Keep in mind we're not affiliated.
I'm not affiliated? Okay,
We're
hell
not
yeah.
affiliated.
I don't know. I'm just happy to be a twink today. What can I say?
Yeah,
Hmm
we
I'm
support you.
representing. Showing
He's
pride.
showing out. He's living his life.
Hmm
He's living his true self.
hmm Aerodynamic, some might say.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, I actually, Shane, Milky got the both of you here, so I guess the next one on the list here is got to be this ABW Frog game 13-10.
Yeah, I'll
W
jump into
leading
this
in your
right away.
way.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Damn,
the
son.
FRG made us work for it, man. There was a couple times where I was like, I mean, I didn't even have like a really bad game per se, but like I was almost getting tilted just like by the plays that they were doing, the mechanical ability of like literally everyone on that team was doing something. At the very start of the game, Slayer had some round like that he was popping off on, and like he was bottom frag, but even then I felt like Slayer had impact on that match. Like
Right.
it was yeah, they made us work for it. But once again, ABW just a well-oiled machine. Still haven't played a match day with our with
Team
our
Full
five.
team, yeah.
But
It is
yeah,
tough.
what do you think, Shane?
I think that was super fucking painful to play. I hated every second of that T side, which I have not had to say before. I was, you can see the demo. This is free information for those of you who don't want to download a demo. I went B a lot, while my team necessarily, went somewhere else.
You are a B
Lurked
word.
out B a bunch of times on overpass, and there were a lot of times where it was like, okay, I'm gonna peek an angle. Someone's gonna peek me. I'm gonna hit them 6 times, couple wall bangs in there. They're gonna be lit 98. I'm gonna die, and it's just gonna get to me. And we
Yeah.
only won 4 rounds. And as a caller on your T side, winning 4 rounds sucks. You feel like it's not an insurmountable loss, but you're like, I really want a big buffer on my T side because I'm especially a T side player, and I didn't really pop off there. Luckily, we got it together on our CT side, and we started stringing rounds together a lot better. But I like to rely less on my CT side, and that came down to the wire a bit more than I would have liked.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
I think as an outside perspective looking in, I will just say because it is the map here. Overpass is definitely commonly a CT sided map there. So 4 or 5 rounds on your T side, I think is a net positive regardless, at least in my opinion. Of course, you'd like to have more, especially if you really like draft up a really solid T side, which I'm sure that you did, Shane. But I mean, looking at your CT side, I mean, you guys strung sets of rounds together, and then you just stopped Frog's T side, right? So this was just a game of whose CT side was better, right? And clearly that you outperformed them in that regard. I
I'd like to
definitely
take
also
full credit for that. 90% of
yeah,
that credit should go to Rye. Rye popped the fuck off on CT side.
Yeah,
but
we
ten
gotta give
percent
it
of
to
it goes
Rai.
to you.
Yeah, no, she said she was 5'10" at the half, and then she ended that game 23 and
23
16.
and
So
16.
Yeah.
Wow.
insane
Wow.
second half
Well,
performance.
dude, and craziest XM. Like if I was
Yeah, no,
playing against her, I'd be
XM and
pissed, dude.
Con. Don't go
Everyone
Con
hates
against
getting
us.
killed
Stop
at the
doing it.
X.
You're gonna
Yeah,
die. She's just fucking better than you. Give up.
yeah. She was
Go somewhere else.
mashing heads with the XM, and I
But
was
there were a
Yeah.
couple rounds there that got my mental back in the game, even though it was like I was dead. But it was like a 3v4 or like a some sort of scenario where like we're at a disadvantage, we don't have any map control, or we were at like a weapons disadvantage and we knew that they were buying up, and I was just like, hey guys, you know what Frog won't expect here is if we take these MP9s and rush Fountain on the third round of the half and get 2 kills, and then just lean back because it's a 5v3.
Right.
So a couple calls like that really got my mental back because even though I didn't get the kills, it was just like I got us some rounds by just saying, let's go try this shit, and it worked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I definitely, I had the pleasure of taking you guys on in this scrim before the match, and I definitely, oh my god, I mean, like I knew Rye was a fantastic player regardless, but man, I mean, couldn't hit my head anymore. I mean, like
no, Ryze
holy
actually a demon.
shit.
yeah, Res
Um,
Demon.
and even with that being said, I look at the score line and I see the same, similar score line to our scrim, and it's just a testament to where you have that consistency factor, and I think that's what keeps you guys stringing some rounds together. I will also say, I'll toot my own horn here a little bit. I definitely think that um, playing RT side on your CT side probably helped you kind of formulate this because like on your CT half, because I think you were able to kind of push and give and take a little bit better to kind of help you be successful in this game because it's a scrim. We won't go too far into it, but we got more than 2 rounds when we were
Yeah,
on our T
yeah.
side. So I think that helped you, and I'm glad that it did because it made you successful.
Honestly, that scrim helped a lot
I was
because
gonna
it was
say
also on
it felt
overpass,
good.
and I was like, we're against similar caliber players here, where it's like we need to make some ballsy calls, we need to do some unorthodox shit to really get in the driver's seat here on our CT side and get the money flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only bit
And
we haven't touched on yet that I do want to mention is the draft was
oh, dude, yeah.
was fucking fantastic.
The
I
map
have a
ban was
piece of
more
paper
exciting
here.
than
We
the
were
actual
cooking
patch, I swear to God.
beforehand because
About
we
the
have the same
graphics.
permaban. If you
Yeah.
look at is it on a CSC actually? I think it is under franchises. You can
And,
see
Yeah,
what
you can actually
yeah.
see.
each team bans. Fun fact, and we both were
Ban
permabanning
Ancient.
Anubis or Ancient, excuse me. And so we both didn't ban that, and we were kind of like floating it, like who's gonna blink first, and they blinked
N-
first.
And Noah,
Um,
you might love this because we know how much Jeff loves his nuke, right? So we
Yeah.
we left nuke floating all the way to the end
All
and
the
then
way to the
banned it.
end. Fucking high five, man. High five,
He
man.
instantly messaged me too. He's like, "Why did you bait?"
It's funny because like it's so funny because Shane and I before this scrim when we were talking about maps, he's like, "Man, I kind of really want to play this map." And then now that you told me what you said, it's just because that
that's
was
why
the
I wanted
game
to play
plan.
Nuke. I was
Yeah.
like, we might end up on Nuke depending on if they leave, if they don't blink and they don't
Yeah,
ban
but see, let me just tell you
Ancient
this.
there. I probably go Nuke because I want to play
Yeah.
Nuke. Nuke's a great map,
Between
dude.
between
Oh,
those
yeah.
2 maps, I don't think it would have really mattered. But in my opinion, I think it was probably better that we played Overpass. Not
Mhm.
saying because it could have gone to both, right? But if we would have played the nuke and you would have been playing against 2 subs, I think that it would have suffered your nuke game against Frog, right?
True.
Like
True. That
Overpass
probably
is
does
kind
more
of,
harm than good.
yeah, exactly. Because you'll have like, well, we're fucking shitting on these guys. With it's like a
Yeah,
third
we're
of
just
my
gonna
team is
walk in
not.
with like GG easy mentality and then
Yeah, exactly.
get
Which
shown
I'm
why
glad.
Nuke is a team play map.
I'm glad that we were able to help you. But yeah, this was a good game all around, to be honest with you. And after tonight, kudos. This makes ABW the only undefeated team in the tier. So
My
keep
soul
Every
going.
is warm
day,
hearing you have to say that.
every day I wake up and
5-0.
thank God that we don't have to play ABW this season.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have to play you too, but after today, I'm a little bit less glad. You guys
I'm a
got a
little
little
bit
a little
less.
blood in the water now, eh?
Well, I mean, ATL has always had blood in the water against like bottom 4 teams.
Yeah, this is actually the
Cope.
perfect segue to talk about the ATL UPS.
Yeah, that's what I was
It
going for.
is.
Yeah,
It
Cope.
is, and
that was really good.
as Wakeful said, there is just something with ATL playing down to our competition, like massively. It also doesn't help that Enders decided to wake up this morning and run a 104 fever and sound like
Yeah,
death.
he's just an inter. He doesn't care about winning. You know,
Yeah, if you really cared, you wouldn't
got
have
that
gotten
loser
that fever.
mentality of like my brain is hurting and my body is weak and I can't look at things because my eyes are blurry.
But I'll also say fucking Mickwick and Canada Dry coming through, right?
Yeah,
I
big.
mean, Nays also had 19 kills, not far behind, 86 ADR. Fucking, the team was playing well, and usually it's cash money you see at the top. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting to see the new pickup, Canada Dry, who I also believe
Mhm.
is pretty decent friends with Mickwick as well. So
Yeah, from
seeing
what I've
their
heard.
their chemistry together, obviously it's working. They're building, and yeah, we said this last week. We said that they just needed time, and here it is.
I'm just saying, man, Canada, that's my fucking boy. Mick, that's my fucking boy. These guys are insane. I cannot wait to see what these guys do this season.
Yeah, there was a ton of upsets tonight. It's interesting. There was some roster shakeups, and it's cool to see the teams like figuring it out now. I think last season we didn't see that at all. Like AP didn't even really shake up their roster and continued to lose the whole time. Cow shook it up a ton, still continued to lose the whole time.
Mhm.
So it's cool to see the underdogs coming out with some new rosters that work for them this season.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with that is we go into half only winning 4 or 5 rounds. It felt like we could have definitely won more. On our T side, just felt like we threw a couple too many rounds. We lose 4 off the bat, which felt terrible. And then it really felt like we were starting to come back towards the end, and it just didn't happen. And I know I said I'm sorry, boys, that I didn't drop more kills and couldn't kill more. I know Wakeful and Scary both said if you can't somehow if we can't win a 10-13 game when you're dropping dropping an average amount of kills and average rating, then that's something wrong with the team. It doesn't feel like that though. Big shout out to Wakeful for dropping 21. Ruby was 19, but it just felt like I should have performed better,
Yeah.
and we win that.
I don't even think it necessarily. It's not like the way I would say it is like UPS won that game. You guys didn't really lose it. You guys it looks like you had a pretty decent performance, and then yeah, you were really clawing for that comeback. So it's like I think UPS just kind of came out gunning, and obviously them winning the other half, right? Like the first 4 rounds of the second half is got to be demoralizing. But you guys bounce back. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's as much
It
as
wasn't really
a problem with the
demoralizing.
team. Yeah,
The thing is,
you
it's
guys
not.
were chill with it.
We don't get me wrong. We weren't complacent with them winning 4 rounds in a row, right? Like none of us were complacent with that. As much as it was like we still performed better on our T side than we felt we did against Sav. Like we felt it was marked improvement. I think where it happened, I know we touched on this before the podcast, of we change our situation. We have this problem where it's not even playing down to competition. That's a joke. We have a problem where we play against a really good team, or at least at the time a good team on a map. We play our style of match, and then we go into the next game against a noticeably lower tier team and play a completely different style, and it doesn't work out. And then I basically have to go to the guys and be like, we can't throw away this map. It works, but we can't play a different style than how we played the first game on. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened with the cow then deadbeats game. We were super aggressive in that cow game, took a ton of space CT. I don't think we won that many T side rounds in that cow game.
Speaking of T side rounds for you guys, there's 2 post plants that you guys got into and lost on your T side.
Yeah.
Were those? Do you remember? Were they close, or were they just like get the bomb down and get
They
800 bucks?
started at like 2-4. I know at least one of those was, hey, let's at least get bombed down, get money, and
Okay.
that was the first one. The second one was I think like 2v4, where it was we have an opportunity and it goes down eventually to a 1v1.
Yeah, because those are the sort of rounds that really break the back of the opponent. So I was just curious if those were
yeah,
if
that
it's those weren't gimmies by any stretch of the imagination. So
no, but yeah, so that first one was we needed to get money, obviously, because I think we would have been broke either way.
that means the last
And
one
then
was
the
an attempt at
second
a
one-
2v4 post plant for the
Yeah.
last round of the half.
And
Yeah,
then
that would have been nice.
And then we brought it down to a 1v1.
Oh god, yeah, that's the sort of round
Yeah.
that really changes the
Man.
momentum of a game too, because they have
And
to
then-
stew in that during halftime.
Mm-hmm. And then end up getting it. We start winning. We get 2 on our CT side, and we lose 1. Then we start winning 3, and then I think it was at the point of which we went 11-8. Shout out the boy Scary. Scary goes, I need 4 fucking more from you. I'm demanding 4 more, and it felt like a shame we couldn't get that.
Tough. Brutal.
Hey man, so she goes sometimes, but I'm sure
It
you guys
is.
will bounce back next week. And, yeah, I mean, whatever. You guys still have. But what's your standings now?
I
What's
think
your record? Sorry,
3-2.
3-2. So it's like you're in that top percentage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as of right now,
That's
you're
pretty
number
good.
6.
3-2, but that doesn't include. Actually, no, it does because Frog's below.
Sixth place is good. You're on the top 50%. You know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not necessarily sure if I would agree with these power rankings,
No. This is
but
just
like,
standings.
yeah, no, this is just standing. So I would say, personally, I would probably shift things around a little bit, but
Yeah, we're definitely not going to
obviously. Standings and power rankings are not the same thing.
I'm interested to see what happens.
And this is only sorted by round differential.
Mhm.
So
So
which is a pretty fair statistic, but
Noah, you want to get into this Hawks versus Servals game?
Yeah.
Hawks lost. That's first.
Also, wait, I
first
just saw
defeat
this
of
in
the
chat.
season.
All Ender stats are high, even temperature. Shout out. So I assume that's Rye. Shout out Rye.
I would imagine.
Rye,
so.
there's no way that you just did this to us.
Leadbone said playing down to competition, it's recruit lol. Yes, because there are different levels even in recruit.
Fucking Leadbone, man, what a hater.
Yeah, but anyway, so I mean, leading into this game, definitely, even with, unfortunately, we did have to have 2 subs tonight. But with that being said, even with our full 5, right, like going in, before the season started, this was a game that was on my schedule. Definitely a losable game. Cayman, UK, they got a great core over there. Cayman's one of the fucking smartest guys that I know, and he just like, I can't tell you how many pages he has of me. Like, it's actually hilarious, even from last season and the season before. We joke about it all the time. But with that being said, I mean, for a loss to happen, it's okay to happen here. Like I said, the 2 subs definitely hurts. And with that being said, I mean, they put up numbers. I'm not gonna talk down on that. I think it really just was the core that we had there tonight. We just didn't feel mentally we weren't there. I mean, basically losing, a third of your team. Um, the vibes aren't there, the mental's not there. Kind of frustrating, a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's just one loss. It's not like it's really, really going to hurt us down the line. I don't really think this affects us long term. And also, with that being said, I mean, you know, even for Sav, I mean, like, of course, a W is a W, but Cayman and UK probably don't feel like this is the W that they would have wanted, going against a weak AVI. So, but I'm not going to take that against them. They played
Well,
phenomenal.
I mean, you say a weak AVI, but those subs were the top frags on your team.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like,
So,
like I said, what I'm not gonna. They played great. I appreciate them coming in. It was just a lot of like when you basically have 2 players on either like on a map that you don't have 100% trust in. You haven't played with them. Like they're playing their own
fair,
game.
fair enough.
Right.
It's really difficult to get anything. And it wasn't even that like what made that a factor is their CT side. We gave them that half 6-6, which honest to God, like I thought it was going to be way worse than that. They gave us T side because I know Cayman probably thought that we wouldn't be able to coordinate all 5 of us because we had 2 subs. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise, being able to start T side and get some kind of free rounds. So getting that 6-6 half, but once we get into CT, you're going against a Sav that has 4 players that know the book, know what's going to be called, has a game plan, and I can only put so many people on one site, like, that I can have full faith in. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then with that being said, it's like Sav played a heck of a game. Like they played their game plan, they played their book, which is all props to them. Came in UK, had a phenomenal game. Bye bye, like went out there and dropped 25 and 15. Like Bye bye is a phenomenal player as well. And then their sub for them tonight also, was able to put up some numbers.
Was that
But yeah,
jackpot?
yeah, jackpot.
Yeah.
Man,
He's
he
So
dropped a
over. Was
triple
that
double like
109?
that.
He dropped a triple double.
A triple
Excuse me,
double.
109 ADR. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And
Two
then like
1VXs. Zam.
He subbed
So
for us. We know he's a really good player, actually.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so
have
like I said, oh,
a question for you, Noah. Do you get Dirt
yeah,
back next match day,
yes,
or is he still gone out of town?
Dirt was just out of town, so he is going to be back for Tuesday's match
Yeah.
day.
One
So
more question for you guys. You had 4 bomb plants in the first 4 rounds and 4 diffuses in the first 4 rounds. Were
Yeah,
those
it's tough.
I mean, I know the eco situation, we had something similar on our T side on Overpass where it was like bomb plant, force, bomb plant, force.
yeah,
Just kind of stuck in a loop of like not having the money that you want and also not getting the round, but their eco's vulnerable and blah blah blah. Was that the case, or was it more just like you sent 4A and then got a bomb plant on B? Like I don't know.
no. I mean, piss around, and it's funny because Cayman and I talked about this after the round. There's no secret. Like I said, Cayman's got pages of me, so um, they stacked a site for pistol because they saw I was hitting it a lot, and I called to go to the other site, and it was a free site. And then that just led to because 2 people decided to push something that they didn't need to push, and then having the 3 other people kind of fill in the gaps, and you're playing against a 5-man retake because no trades were brought in, right? So that kind of went in their favor. The second round, since we got bomb plant, opting to force there definitely makes sense. And that was kind of another situation. We went out, got a bomb plant, had numbers on site, and then just having two, like I said, having one sub in this type of league setting is already like not the easiest, right? Especially if it's someone that you haven't had to have any games with and they're coming in and this is also difficult for the sub, right? Because of course they don't want to be like the reason that you're
They
losing,
want to play the best that they
right?
can. Yeah.
Right.
And as a captain, caller, someone in the, I want to make their transition to being on the team and subbing as like easy as I can. So I want to make them feel comfortable and things like that. And that means like giving them freedom and things like that, to kind of play their own game. But then that kind of leads to like not making the best team play decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I said, no hate to those guys because they went out and they played their game and they had their freedom and they played what they wanted to do. But yeah, like I said, we've already had a conversation. Realistically, this doesn't really hurt us. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's only one loss, and we already know that this was due to outside reasons. So we just kind of move on from it.
Well, and
So
Noah, one thing that I want to bring up is I notice your util really as a team is pretty low. What was happening? Were you guys just using it too early? Was it just bad information? What was going on?
Well, I would say at least on our Anubis, a lot of our util damage wise, comes from a lot of our executes and things like that.
Right.
And both of my like I teach all my players, the execs and lineups and things like that. So whenever one of us is in that kind of scenario, we can kind of take off that. But it really was like our T side was not the game plan that I would normally have. It was
Right.
very much like, you know, Bastos or Ambulance would like get a pick somewhere, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, like they're gonna push this regardless because they think that they should push. So we gotta help support, and then
Right.
like then that leads into weak site takes and things like that. And then on the CT side, like I said, it was just they had a game plan and they executed it, and that was that. So
All right. All right.
So
Well,
I know this was just brought up in chat. We're not going to be talking on the Clancy situation. However, as you probably heard at the top of the broadcast, Shane will be covering us for the next 3 match days while Clancy is out. So, this one and the next 2, Shane will be here covering for Clancy. So that's all that's going to be said on the situation. And yeah, moving on to the next match.
so
You got your
we got
grippy socks.
no, but
Mist and Nade stack. Then I guess
Yep.
Shall we talk about it?
well, I can tell you this one was an upset, in my opinion.
You think so? Yeah, I think so as well. Actually, I think I put Net
Nades.
winning this
I will
one.
say it wasn't much of an upset because I could see this going either way.
I'm
Um,
just
I
I
think
agree
it
with
would have
Ender.
been an upset if it was like 3-13 or something. 7-13 isn't a great scoreline, but it's not a terrible one either.
I'm
Right.
just
So,
shocked. I'm
It's
just
not
shocked.
like a full-on wash.
Yeah, I'm just shocked looking at the score line, like in terms of the stats and scoreboard. Like this doesn't look like Nan wins this game. Like you have 2 people not even breaking 10, and this is like everyone's in Van
All
Wishen's
right, we
like
can't get into
backpack.
breaking kills because last time I did, I received some comments that I might be getting a match, or I might have got a match day ban.
Okay, no, okay. I retract my statement. I'm
I can't
I'm
get
just
into
For
saying.
legal
breaking
reasons,
kills.
this is a joke.
I'm just saying
For legal
that
reasons, the things that were said in the last podcast were a joke.
I think he got a little fired up last podcast. Yeah.
looking at the scoreboard, it looks like this would be going into Wet's favor, right?
True.
And I think that the fact that this scoreboard looks like this and Nan won just means that they had some incredible team play. I mean, they had some like pretty good. Like, if you can tell me that you can get on a site and like you can just have one guy kill 3 people, like that's what it seems like, right? Or like one guy kills 2 people. I mean, Nan benefited from starting on their CT side first there. Looking at this, they get 3 diffuses in that first round. A lot of these are either saves, it looks like. 2 of these definitely in the middle are probably save rounds from Wet there to try to get their money right. And then, Wet only coming off with 4. Inferno is definitely a tough map, so I would be intrigued to see if either Nan picked CT or if Wet felt comfortable to take it to the T side first. But yeah, I mean, going into your CT half, 4 to 8 is pretty difficult, and then also Nan coming out and winning 3 T rounds in a row, right? Like they win pistol, they win the force back, and then winning that first gun round, from Wet definitely doesn't put you in a good spot lined up. But I mean, Wet was still able to come out, get 3 rounds, So I would love to see what those last 2 rounds looked like, see how close they were.
Right.
Because it definitely could have gone the other way. Because imagine Wet wins like four in a row, then Nan's eco is kind of messed up, right? And then they probably win that next round because either Nan has to save or they have to force buy, and then this could be a totally different score line. But
Right. Well, and I think
yeah,
a big part of it too is chip damage. Like, what are you doing in the middle of the round that is getting you an advantage? And
yeah,
by looking at the scoreboard, genuinely, NA nades, they were chipping them throughout the
yeah,
entire game. You have Van with 258 util damage. You know,
Yeah.
like they are chucking that shit, which
But
it
3
doesn't
players over
seem like
100.
Right. That's insane. That can be the difference of that game, and genuinely, I think that's what
Especially
brought
on
them to
Inferno.
that 13-7. Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
oh yeah.
Inferno's the map to
yeah.
be doing it.
Yeah, you didn't have a single person on Drip's side that got
Overbricked
over
100.
Cracked
100.
over 100, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
Which
Fuck.
that
I
could
wonder
be
if
the
that
difference.
means that it came down
They
to a
barely-
B difference, like a lot of B hits and a lot of B aggression that Nade Stack
Right.
probably stopped,
Yeah, we're able to
where
shut-
it seems like Mist probably wasn't getting that util damage off on Banana and not maintaining as much aggressive control.
Right.
yeah,
That's
definitely
that's just from a util standpoint, but typically the way that the cookie crumbles on Inferno is you're gonna get a lot of util damage on your Banana players, and it doesn't seem like that really
Oh,
happened for Mist.
and
So that's about
it doesn't even have to be like that, really. I mean, it's just all about holding control, especially
Mhm.
when you're on CT side. Like you want to look at it from the perspective like, okay, how much control are they going to let the other side hold? Because that can be the difference of, okay, we're going to funnel them into this position. Once they get there, we're going to cut them off, make them sweat a little bit more. And you can do that with smokes, you can do that with mollies, whatever it might be, right? I can see that game running out like they would go to take B, and then out of nowhere you have NA nades just locking it down mid push. So then they go to pull out, and now they're already making an execution that is weak. There's already a crack, and that's really what it takes to get to that 13-7. So I'm really proud of the NA nades guys today. They really held that dominance.
2 for 2 on pistols as well, which is huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's my thing looking at this. First and foremost, they make a change from they Mist makes a change. They drop Synthronix, who I don't know if was calling for them, but I know he was somebody that ATL was looking at to be the caller, and he was doing good. And then they pick up Monty, who, if he isn't calling, I don't know who the fuck is for Mist.
He's probably
Right.
calling.
So it's very difficult to make that change in less than a day
Right.
to get all of your players in that system bought in, everything else.
Especially on a map like Inferno.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was
It
probably
is a
something
really
they
hard map.
pugged out. I know I've heard around that Monty can really get in his own head when his team is down. So I wonder if that had an impact. A whole bunch of situations that just come with adding an IGL on the day without time.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Well,
I'm,
and
I'm still excited to see. I think especially
yeah.
now after the change. I mean, like Monty, like you said, I mean, he was literally given a day. Like it's like if he is calling, he was given a day to have these people trusted his ability to call, and then
Right.
also like just and Inferno is an intensely difficult map. Like especially
Right.
like starting on your T side. Like if you don't get like that first pistol, like it's really hard
It's
to
hard.
kind of create momentum from there. Especially because I could I could probably guess that like a lot of it is, hey guys, like let's just default because it's like how are you supposed to call like a set play or an exec when they probably don't know what everyone knows. You know what I mean? So but anyway, Nan had a good game. Like I said, Van coming out with this stat line is absolutely insane. 250 util damage, 21 effect, enemies flash. Another flasher in the building.
That's
Definitely
21
could've been-
enemies flashed and 22 enemies killed. Throw your
Yeah.
flashes, kids.
Yep.
That's over 1 flash for every round of the game.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
I didn't even do that math. That's nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
that is
holy
crazy.
cow, Van. Holy cow,
Yeah.
Van.
It's nuts.
So yeah, for sure. Definitely excited. I think you said earlier, Jackson, but this is sniffing like a little season 12 Nan action. You know,
Yeah, man, they're coming back.
Start a
Match
little
day
under
5, man.
and
It feels
Match
that
day
way. It
5.
definitely feels that way.
start a little under, and maybe they can catch some steam going forward. We'll have
Yeah.
to see.
100%.
Who do we want to talk about next? Maybe maybe a little OS.
Yeah, we'll do the
Yeah.
OS, and then we'll leave Martyr for last here.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Definitely, yeah. This OS.
Holy cow, OS.
Yep.
Now,
I will say, I think Leadbone was talking about when I said he gets kind of down on himself when he gets behind. Leadbone, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's not what you're talking about. You said small reason why Monty is a bounce around recruit player. All I'm gonna say.
well, we're not here to spread we're for.
I know Callaway has just said Miss bounces back next game, just feeling out the new IGL. Yep. There's some fucking shit going on. I think Captain Jack might be Synthronix or a buddy of Synthronix.
Captain Jack is Synthronix.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is, that's we don't need to be causing more drama.
I do
No,
believe he
for
said he was gonna throw some shit just as a little keck W in the CSC chat, recruit chat.
he
So
did say
don't
that
take any of it
earlier.
too seriously. I do believe he just said some shit to his org, and they were having a little banter back and forth in the recruit chat.
Just
Yeah.
happened.
I think it was good banter for sure. I was reading it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, man. I mean, going
That's
into this AP Goshi game, like we said, I mean, I definitely think looking at this AP team, I was under the impression, Monty was calling, and then I'm intrigued to see kind of where that kind of.
If they don't
went
have
to.
Monty calling, why sign him? You know?
Why what?
Why sign him?
Maybe they
I don't
just
know.
want
Because-
to frag it. I don't know.
But like, no offense to Monty, that's not really what he's known for. He's a better use as an IGL than he would be as just a fragger.
You're also still talking about the wet game, eh?
Yeah, was that not what was just said?
He's stuck in the past.
No,
No,
we're talking about
the Goshi
we're talking
AP.
about. The
Oh, I
Goshi
thought he
game,
just said the
Synthronix.
Monty.
No, I was just
thing.
saying that since Monty is gone,
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a
I wonder.
dumbass.
I
and
wonder.
Synthronix
Yeah,
replaced.
Well,
Lance.
this
Tonight,
was I
anyway.
thought this was a sub for synth,
I'm not sure.
It is
if
a
he got
sub
signed.
for
Yeah,
Synth.
I think it was a sub.
right?
Yeah.
Zulu is their perma.
But
Right.
that's interesting though, because Zulu's been on the team for 2 match days and he hasn't played once, right?
Yeah.
Why? What's going on there? You know.
Well, the thing is, Synth wasn't dropped until today, so I don't know if they could have even signed Synth.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. Goes, and I don't know if they plan on signing him either. I know I was just saying that he was the guy replacing him.
So, quick question. Can I bring up 1 KD real quick? Or is that a no-go?
No, go ahead. Feel free.
I want to talk about Hector's 3.0 KD because that is the elephant in the room here.
I was pulling up the standings as well on Analytical. I believe Hector is currently 7.
He's
Did you do
7th
some math? Yeah,
by
7.
rating.
1.27 rating across 5 games.
My God, Hector.
A lot of
My
good
God, that's all I'll say on that. That's all I'll
Yep.
say.
I will say, I mean, I definitely think that this OS team has had some stomps, and I would be interested to see if that's either because it's a strong team
Mhm.
or they're going against weaker teams. Right?
Well, and here's the thing. I've had the pleasure of playing with all of these OS guys. Genuine.
Yeah.
Well, Lightman Luke, one of my close friends. This guy can hold that enthusiasm throughout an entire game. It doesn't matter if they're down 11-1, like they have one round in a game. Luke will come in and he will tell everybody to shut the hell up and pull through.
Yeah.
That like I love Luke. Like that guy is amazing, and every time I've played with him, it has been nothing but a good experience. It doesn't matter if we're winning the game, we're dropping rounds. Doesn't matter if we're kicking ass. Luke
Yeah.
is always there, hyping everybody up, and frankly, any roster with Luke
Yeah.
is
Is a
amazing.
good one to watch.
Yeah, I love watching Luke play, man. Like that, and he has fun with it. That's like genuinely, like Luke. What a steal on
Yeah.
OS's part.
Absolutely.
mean-
Once again, oh, go ahead, Anders.
I know for sure that was somebody I was looking at over on ATL when we had a slot open. And I think he was signed just after we signed Lax. That or he was signed before. I think it was after though. I know I felt bad that we weren't able to get him because we were hoping he would go to the draft. It didn't, but it wasn't a guarantee. So,
Right.
but Luke is one of those guys that crazy aim, crazy energetic guy, and the vibes are just immaculate with Luke.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
The one other player that I want to bring up, because I've been talking about him a lot in terms of these OS
Yep.
games, is Pets. Once again, 14-7. I mean, yes, it is a 13-3, right? So like, steps are going to be a little inflated, but I mean, once again, like I think I called it earlier, match day 1,
I
match
wouldn't
day
say
2,
it's
like,
inflated.
well, I just mean in terms of like,
It takes 5 people to win a 13-3 game.
I agree.
End of the day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you have Enders, right, who's pulling out a 38 and whatever game out of his ass. Like
You
it
gotta
doesn't
keep
matter.
talking about
It yeah, I know. Well, it's never gonna die. That's gonna be like the highlight of this season is Enders dropping
For some
38
of
in
us.
match game 1.
Yeah, unless
For
someone
some
else.
of us.
someone
That's
else
gonna be
picks-
my villain arc, dude. That game.
Look, all I know is today I drew up to 0.86 and I'm still top of the leaderboards in kills.
Right.
Well,
So
right.
fuck you, Noah.
Well, I mean, I also like had a 0.9. Anyway, but yeah, I just think I'm glad to see Pets is getting their shoes comfortable in the position
Right.
that they're in. Like these past 2-3 match days, Pets has been towards the top of the leaderboard, which is where they were expected to be as the number 1 overall pick, right? So
Right.
it seems like the work and the time and effort that OS has put in is paying off. And I mean, listen, they've got a lot of games under their belt now. They're also
yeah.
4-1. Like I said, I personally just think like really their toughest competition since the beginning was Sav, which was that 11-13 game. And then realistically, like their next biggest competition would be ATL come match day 7, but we're not going to really super get into it. But anyway, I'm still excited to see both teams for sure. I definitely think AP now. I mean, it's going 0-5. It's like
Really quick. Good night, Scary. Appreciate that. I saw you guys VOD reviewing. I just had to do this.
But
Thanks for stopping by.
Either way, I hope AP maybe can scrounge some rounds. Maybe get some W's in there. Definitely feels like the AP is kind of the cow of last season. And even with that being said, I mean, like we talked about it. I think Match Day 3 podcast, which was like they were a good team on paper, and
Right.
giving and having Monty go away and picking up Zulu instead, it's like it's kind of your make or break moment. Match day 6, match day 7, it's like, are we still gonna do this? Like, are we gonna get some wins going or stuff like that? So I'm rooting for them, just like I was last season. Little Cinderella story action. Maybe making some W's. I mean, if they win out for the rest of the season, like that's a 6-5 season. So it's like,
Right.
It's definitely doable. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I think overall my take is just like I think I was here, I don't remember which match day it was, but I was here earlier in the season and we were doing power rankings and I was like, OS was put at like 6th or something, and I was like, OS is one of the teams that I worry about. And I don't worry about number 6 teams. I worry about like top 3, top 4 teams.
Right.
And there's
It's
teams,
very rough.
that are like, they can bite you from below, but OS was not a team that'll bite you from below. They're just gonna punch you right in the face. They're eye to eye with you.
Right.
Doesn't matter who you are, they are gonna give you a run for their money, as proven by their match against Sav. And as also proven by their multiple clean sheets against here, pretty clean sheet against AP, against UPS, and I believe they also had a clean game against Nan. Yeah, 13-5 match day 3. So when they win, they tend to beat the competition that they're supposed to beat in a pretty straightforward, let's do our job and get out manner. And
Yeah. I mean,
when they're playing someone who's like a tough competition, they're gonna give them hell.
I'd
Right.
say the only team I would say kind of drifts from that would be the match last week's game against DRG. I think that was, but I'd say you could say that's a fluke, or just DRG played really well. Anyway, yeah, I definitely think that kind of sums up that game. Unless anyone else has anything to say.
Well, speaking of DRG.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Cow
exactly.
getting their
Segue.
first
Ooh,
dub.
we're big yapping. Big
Thank you.
yapping.
That is
Oh,
that is a
There we
steal.
go.
Can we see some
Oh,
moves in the chat, please?
So all I
Ooh.
have to say is it's now official. The Cow cannot do worse than they did
Yeah.
last season.
Well, I mean,
They
yeah,
officially now cannot.
they can only go neutral, which is you have to lose the next 5 games.
Yeah.
I semi wonder.
Which that's not happening. We taste
Enders-
blood.
Do you feel semi responsible for this win, Enders? Do you think you lit that fire?
I will say this. After the Cow match finished up, I did receive a DM from Noble. First and foremost, I messaged him after the podcast. I said, when you watch the podcast, know that I say what I say because I know you're better than your show. He goes, oh yeah, I know, lol. He said after the match, he goes, yo, I woke up and decided not to be an IGL, all pug all the way.
All bug all the way.
So
Man.
do I feel kind of sort of responsible for the whole you call the things that Noah, Hector, all of these great IGLs call it, but you don't know why you're calling it. Do I feel responsible? No. Do I feel like he at least fucking heard me and I wanted to fight him because he's fucking up? I hope so.
I was waiting for Enders to just say I take full credit. I don't know why, but that whole long lead in, I was waiting for do I feel
Right.
responsible? Yes, I did it. You're welcome.
Right.
No, I don't feel responsible at all because I know that no, I don't. I don't feel
Oh my
responsible at
gosh.
all because without Martyr, without Siegel, without all those guys over there hitting shots and winning rounds, they don't win at all. I hope to God I woke Noble up.
Yeah.
Dude, Noble, I will say this. This guy is a sleeper. AP didn't appreciate him last season. They tried to shoehorn him into a position he wasn't comfortable doing or just didn't have fun doing. Because at the end of the day, that's what this game is about. It's about us showing up, having fun with 4 of our closest friends. I think all of us can agree with that, right?
Oh yeah.
True.
And
If we ain't having
for
fun,
the-
what the fuck we playing for?
exactly. And I can't remember the last time I was in a team dynamic where
Yes, Gary, you're a
doesn't
great
matter.
IGL.
Doesn't matter if we're winning, if we're losing, if we have those 3 losses we had together. Yeah, after the game, it sucks. But we talk about it, we grow, and we get better. And then we fucking show up. When Cal shows up, we win. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. And I will go on the record saying, OS, watch out. AVI, watch out. Enders, I'm coming for you. We're all
Good
coming
luck,
for you.
buddy.
It doesn't
Good
matter.
luck.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. It is Fresh, Martyr, Isaac, Noble, Siegel. On our A game, we win.
I think we saw
And-
your A game match day 1 and how'd that end up for you?
Ha 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 ha.
Oh, Enders dropped 38 kills. Wow, that's
Big
crazy. What a
yaps,
reference
big
for
yaps.
Enders to make.
Ooh, Enders had a life game.
Yeah.
Everybody, get.
The only thing,
Enders in a life game.
But no, seriously, so I want to start this matchup with the fact everybody did their role. Our T side, those count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those 8 rounds, everybody did their job. Fresh did their
Ooh,
job.
hold up.
Isaac
That
did
was
their
after
job.
losing pistol. Oh my
After
goodness.
losing pistol,
Little bomb
we
plant
got bombed
force up
down.
there.
Oh yeah, we got bombed down, and we're like, okay, you know what? You know what we do here? We force up, and we do not take our foot off the fucking floor. And I am so proud of everybody that was in that server today, because it started with us beating Drip, and then we rolled right into this.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what it is. It's that curse that I was really worried. I was worried we were going to win our scrim game, and then we were going to show up, and then we were going to lose our match day. But today, I didn't have that thought once. Siegel showed up. Him and we were practicing. And I swear to God, I remember telling Siegel, like, dude, you are winning today. You were online. You're going to fucking kill it. And mind you, Siegel dropped 22 kills, not only in this game, but the game before that. This man, Noble, took a back seat today. Noble was doing his job. He was hitting his shots, but Siegel dropped 22 while fucking calling.
Very nice.
Like, it was insane. And frankly, I'm more than anybody on this roster right now, I was more proud of Siegel today than anybody. Like, I swear to God. I
Yeah.
am so excited for him to not let up one more time all season, man, because I'm excited for him to see what he can do. Because in Siegel's head, when he has a game plan, he's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go A, we're going to go B, we're going to take mid control and kind of just splinter in. Like, I swear to God, it's like a disease when Siegel and when these plans are coming together, because it's just one. It starts with one, then another, then another, then another. It's not like we're pushing a site and it's just like, okay, well, now we have 3 kills and it's free. All we have to do is hold the post plant. Siegel is a master, like, it's a master class watching him do this, because he does splinter damage in the server more than anybody, like, better than anybody I've ever seen. Like, we will get that pick and we hold on to it. We do not give another one up. We get that one pick, then we chip them on the other side of the map. We get
Must be
that
nice.
second pick. And it's just a matter of breaking them down at that foundation. And then you get games like this, where I'm just, I cannot say it enough how proud I am of Siegel, because he's been having a rough season so far, but he showed everybody today why he's a competent fragger and caller.
And Siegel is also captain, right? I know he's
Yeah.
IGL, but he's
Yeah,
also
he's our
captain.
captain.
Yeah. That's tough as a captain to start
Yeah.
in the manner that you guys did.
Right.
And to bounce back, I'm sure, is like just a huge sigh of relief and a boost of confidence. And I hope it's a shot in the arm for you guys to fucking pop off.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
the one thing that I do want to say, because I am going to play a little devil's advocate here,
Okay, let's hear it, Noah.
is I also am on board for the cow train, because I like Siegel.
Moo.
I think
Moo.
I think he's got a lot of good ideas and a lot of really big potential. So does your whole team as a whole. The only thing that I really think that we have yet to see, and we'll get it with this DB team that you play against next match day, because hopefully, fingers crossed, it's their full roster, full new roster, but it was against DRG without their caller. So
Sure.
I feel like, and I won't even say their CT side, because like CT side, yeah, depending on how you play it, like I wouldn't necessarily say like having, like, it's like you can play a CT side without having like a main caller, right? Because everyone's doing their protocols and the rules, right? But
Right.
jumping into that T side, like not having the person that has the game plans and the set plays and things like that, or their understanding of the chessboard, that we call, definitely makes
Right.
it for a tough game. But either way it's cut, like I still think like you guys all came and played, and this has probably been the biggest spread that you guys have all been next to each other, right?
Right.
Which is really good. Like you guys all showed up, and I think that's kind of what you were getting on. It's like, when Siegel plays, or not when Siegel, when you guys all play at the same, 100%, like you make a really strong team, which is what everyone was thinking was going to happen going into match day 1, right?
Right.
And I'm glad that it's here now. I just hope that it stays, and stays
Right.
against the teams that, also have their full 5. Fortunately, you guys have kind of benefited from basically having your full 5 every match day. I think there was only one match that you
Mhm.
had a sub,
Yeah,
if I
last
can remember
match day.
correctly. So it's like, I mean, shit. I mean, you have the schedule there. Your players don't need any time off. So it's like, how dangerous can you make it by having, your full 5 there every single
Right.
match day? So I'm definitely interested to see how it pans out for you. So
And take it from me, this is just my little input after spending so much time with the team now. Going into it, we're a fresh roster. We're a fresh
well,
roster. At the end of the day, there's going to be growing pains. We
yeah,
have to figure out who does what well, where we're going to put them, how we're going to play it. A majority of these match days we've been doing, it's just we're trying to find where our feet are. It's like learning to walk before you can run. We have
absolutely.
to okay, who plays well with who, where, and you can say like, oh, I love pugging with this guy, but as soon
Yeah,
as
like
we're in
playing
that
against
match
somebody in
day,
12 rounds. Yeah.
right, and I love my teammates. At the end of the day, like I would trust these guys with my back in any game. It doesn't matter who we're going against. It doesn't matter if it's OS, AVI, Atlantis, like
Yeah.
anything. I trust these guys with everything I have. And that's why I hold my back to wherever they're holding. I hold my back straight to it because I know nobody's going to run up and shoot me in the back of the head, man.
Yeah. And
And
that's good. That's good.
oh
I
yeah,
think I
and
think
Unless
that's
your
your
ender is on
biggest.
A ramp, apparently.
oh
I,
dude, fucking
I
Enders, it's going to be
realistically,
5 years from now, and you're going to be like, hey, match day 1, season 13.
Nah. After the
I,
season,
re-
I'll stop. But seriously, y'all don't fucking learn.
I
Oh,
really
dude.
do
We
think
played each
though.
other we played each other in a fucking pug, and you two two of your players just kept letting me run down a ramp.
Right.
Well, let me tell you, they did learn. They
Unpunished.
did learn when they played against us on Ancient. They started throwing that close molly. So
Oh, yeah.
by B doors Enders because of you. And I go, that molly is because of Enders.
They finally fucking learned. It took them how long?
Oh, it
But
took us
even,
overtime, Enders, so come on.
but even with that being said, like I said, I think that you guys do benefit from like like barring no schedule issues going further, like you guys have been able to play with your full 5 every match day, right? There's some
Yeah.
teams here even near the top that don't have that, and I think like if you guys can spend a lot of time outside of server, I'm sure you already do, but like that's gonna add up, like getting some wins against teams that have subs in, like you did tonight, and taking advantage of that, is just gonna make
Right.
you like further your shot in the standings, but also now like getting the wins against the teams that have their full 5 and showing that hey, I'm here to play too. And I think your next game is definitely a shower. I'm
Oh, yeah.
excited to watch it.
Who do we have
So
next? Deadbeats?
Deadbeats, yeah.
Deadbeats? All right. So
Oh.
I say this with love in my heart for everybody at Deadbeats, but I'm sorry for your loss in advance.
So basically, really
My
quickly,
head's
the
on
only
the
thing that's
line.
going to guarantee you guys at least a play-in spot is going to be a positive record. So as it stands right now, we are on match day 5. You guys are 1-4.
Right.
You guys would have to win out. You guys would have to win out to guarantee probably a play-off spot, not a play-in spot. But to at least get a play-in spot, you guys would have to win 5 of the next 6.
No way, really?
Yes.
No. That's like the top half, though. Isn't there more than that? And
So there is 10, but 7 through 10 is play-in. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
oh,
Because there's 11.
you could go like -1 in your
5
record
and
and probably still
6,
make play-ins.
maybe, but you would it would go to tiebreakers for that 10th spot, and I don't feel comfortable like saying people would win based on tiebreakers. But I want to say if you want like 7 through 9, you'd have to go win the next. You have to win 5 out of 6 for the next.
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
want a playoff spot, which means you get 7th or higher, or sorry, 6th
Sixth
or
or
higher, it would basically be you have to win the next 6. You have to win out the rest of the season.
Okay.
And I'll
Well,
say
that's
this,
what I'm
guys.
saying.
I'm sorry for everybody else in CSC Recruit, but you gave us long enough to get comfortable with one another. Gave us long enough to figure out how each other play. We've been watching every demo. We've been watching every VOD review. We've been watching what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, Enders, how many of our match days have been on Ancient?
2.
What if
2?
2? Are you like, this is half of our games.
Yeah.
Before tonight.
Sorry, 3. You have 3 because you just played Acolytes on Ancient.
You haven't even seen us play on our best maps.
I mean,
Okay.
that is
Well,
kind
I
of the point
just
of
hope-
pick bans.
Well, I just hope that your best maps aren't people's insta bans, you know?
Right.
Which if that is the case, I mean, the one thing that you do benefit from, right? And this
Right.
is where maybe you guys, and this is how you could succeed, right? Is you guys can be the team that comes playoffs, and teams aren't going to have 3 bans. It's a ban. So it's like if you guys can fall into that category of like they don't really know, and they could ban a map that they're not comfortable with, and you can play into a map that you're like, I've had this pocket map and we've never played it. You know,
Yep.
like a lot of teams, I think, especially playoff bound teams have maps like that already. And it's like,
They better.
and that's kind of where it comes down to, right? With the pick bans and things like that, and everything that's been going on with this season, we've been seeing a lot of Ancient, we've been seeing a lot of Anubis, a lot of Vertigo, with some Overpass kind of sprinkled in there. And it's like, if you're a team that has your best map is one of the 3 that I didn't list, like you can kind of just take that and run with it come playoffs because a team can only ban 1, So
Mhm.
it's like,
Before a first pick is made.
exactly. So it's like, I wouldn't say that I would say that you're kind of in a good spot in that regard, but now it's okay, well, now I got to make it there,
Yep.
And that means now you got to strengthen the maps that every team is playing on, right? So
The thing is,
that's
you can't beat AVI last season where you get comfortable with each other very early, but also don't get hot till later in the season.
Right.
we were just bad the whole season. I mean, like,
Noah's. I wish the face cams were on so you could see Noah's face as soon as I said you can't beat AVI from last season.
no, it just like wasn't the case. Like we went 5 and 6. I mean, like it wasn't that great. I mean,
Like I'm not saying it was great at the back half of the season, but also like, come on, man,
yes,
get
I will
better.
say yes, we did get some W's like strung in a row towards the end, right? But anyway, yeah. I'm excited to see, and that's the whole thing, Like the further that we get into the season, like the further and further we get closer to that playoffs, and it's like teams are gonna have pocket maps, and if you don't have a pocket map, then you got to fucking learn a pocket map because it's like
And
being
learn
able
it
to
quickly.
and being able to just be like, all right, we're gonna take it to this map, and guess what? It's like some would say it's a 50-50 gamble, but if you're more confident that your 50-50 gamble is leaning in your direction, like take it. Like I can tell you, there's 2 teams in the tier alone that have pocket maps on a specific map that no team is probably going to take it to, and that's why they're in a position where it's like either that team feels like, well, shit, there's like 2 maps that I'm not really good at, and they have to learn one because if you ban the wrong map, these 2 teams are going to take you to the map that you probably have 0 experience on, and it's like you got to just fucking roll with the punches, Shane, I know what map you want to say, and I know we're talking about the same
I was
one.
just looking at your permabans.
So it's like
Fucker.
are you confident about the other maps? So
Can't wait
let's
till a
just say
team finally gets to take ABW to Ancient.
that will never happen because that's their permaban.
That's
That'll
not
never
gonna
happen.
look. If like I said this before on the pod, it's not gonna happen. And then today we left it open for Frog, and they fucking banned it 5th because they also hate that map. That was their 3rd ban, and I was like, I said, we weren't gonna do it. So they probably had actionable intelligence that we probably weren't gonna do it, but they were still like, that map sucks because it's the worst.
Yeah. Well, also the other one that is my permaban is definitely the worst.
That's such a good map. You're wrong.
Listen, Shane. We both aren't gonna get what we want. Okay, that's just the way it's gonna go. We gotta like meet in the middle with like.
It's gonna be a disappointing best of 5
Inferno.
someday. Inferno's so boring. I
Shane.
don't even like Inferno.
Shane, I will pay you $50 to fucking play Ancient in a match.
It may have to happen at some point.
Dude, Shane's just gonna play it Ancient because then he can stop all the people saying.
Okay,
they
no.
don't play
All I
Ancient
want to say
because
is
he
we played
sucks."
Ancient like 2 days ago or something in Pugs, and we got 13-0'd. That map
Because they were
sucks. I
cheaters.
hate it.
They were
You and I
cheaters.
together could not win because it's fucking horrible.
They
Get
were
that map
cheaters.
No,
out of here.
you just
So
mentally
Shane.
checked out, Shane. That's it. If
Shane,
No.
let me ask you.
you didn't
brother
mentally
man.
check out, that match would have gone different.
That game, there was cheaters.
All right. Brother man, are you a big Mirage fan?
It's a map. It's a good map.
It's a map. See, it makes sense you don't like Ancient then. You know
So
why?
I think
Because
Mirage isn't like
Ancient
there's
is
nothing
green
standout about
Mirage.
it.
Well, that's exactly. Ancient is green Mirage. And I've noticed if you don't like Mirage, you probably don't like Ancient.
Green Mirage.
It's
It
green
is
Mirage
green
with flip
Mirage.
sights. With flip sights, dude. I swear to God. B is A on Mirage, and A is B on Mirage.
You know what's just a big facility map that will never be played in Shane's favor? Nuke.
See, Shane, I'll say this right now. Take me on Cash. Let's get a 5v5 show match on Cash.
That would actually be fun as fuck.
That would be a lot of fun. We got to work that out.
It's funny because there's only one other team in the tier that will take you to the map that you want to play, and it's going to be.
Look, you don't have to like beat around the bush here. Your permaban is Nuke. That information is publicly available.
Yeah.
Analytic Kill, pull up their map bans. Please beat them. Just look at what they play and look at what they don't play. Take them to Nuke.
Right.
What are they gonna do? Win?
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
what?
bud. Yeah, well, not if you permaban it.
Shane. You
Okay, so what's the
that I'm on.
permaban for ATL then?
You want me to check?
I'll check it.
Franchises.
Noah, are we
ATL,
playing you again
ATL,
this season or no?
No, unless you make playoffs.
Okay.
ATL, recruit,
Okay, so-
Harpies.
Noah, I
Your
will
first
make
day
this
match
deal.
ban round 1 was Mirage. Then it was Overpass. Looks like you aren't a big fan of
You don't like
Overpass.
Overpass your permaban.
Yeah, it seems like you really. Oh man, and you love that map too. That's a bummer for you, bud.
Yeah.
Wait, I already knew that because you told me that.
Yeah, I knew that too. I forgot.
You guys fucking don't like me, apparently. Fuck you both.
Permabans only mean that you don't want to play it against them. You know, maybe I'm banning it because I'm just so good on it and I don't want to show you. Maybe that's the same thing with Ancient. You know?
Cope.
Maybe you just don't want to play Ancient against a team because you're worried that I'll scout it too hard.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, let me move around to the power rankings.
Oh,
That was
Shane, I
rude.
saw that.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Is that a domestic issue?
Yes.
Shane?
She's abusive,
Alright.
and it's my mother.
All right, but anyway, all right.
I missed it.
It's cooked. What are we segging into the power?
Probably power rankings, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So this is our power rankings from
Yesterday.
last
2 days
match
ago.
day. I just want to start with one and then we can go 14 up.
Word?
Shane, say the line.
ABW on top.
Yeah, that's the only one you shouldn't turn off.
ABW
So-
unstoppable. Like literally, prove me wrong. Everyone in here can be like, "Oh
I
well."
did prove me wrong.
You proved me wrong. How'd you prove me wrong?
We're tied.
Okay. We tied in a like scrim best of 3 setting. And if that went to overtime, oh yeah, well someone on our team had to go, it's late or whatever, I don't care. You guys backed out of that overtime. That best of 3 would have been decided.
You guys did back out, actually. It was you guys who didn't want.
We said if it goes to second overtime, we call
No,
it.
you said if it goes to overtime on the last map, we won't have time.
On the yeah, you said no. You said
second.
overtime.
We did one full overtime, and it went to the second overtime. It was 15.
What was map 3?
I
Remember map 1
Anubis.
we rocked
Map
your
1
shit.
Yeah, and map
We
2 I
did.
rocked your
Like to
shit.
be fair, we did rock your shit. But I
Yeah,
can't
'cause
remember
we
what map it was.
we won't
And then
talk
map
about
2
it.
was overpass, and you
Yeah.
kind of rocked us back, but it was like 13-8, so not like as much of a blowout. And then map 3, don't remember at all. I just remember it was a tie.
It was a tie, but it was a tie on second overtime, and that was the issue. Is that it was 2 overtimes already.
Was it actually?
Yeah, it was 15-15.
I do have a
can't
horrible
remember.
memory, so
I can't
that would be one
remember.
overtime, by the way.
Okay. So I think for 14,
I'm
I think I
thinking
know
you're
which
wrong.
team I put.
AP.
That's
Yeah, it's gotta be AP. I mean,
yeah.
Tough.
And it's not only because of like the loss of tonight. It's like the loss of tonight plus coupled with like you made like one of probably the biggest changes you can make, like sending your IGL to go to a different team and then like you not winning that next game.
Yeah.
You're like making it even closer than what it was. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, Ghost is a good team, but like you're telling me you couldn't get like more than 3 rounds?
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't make
Again,
it.
I know.
If
Like, I
AP
know
does
there
what they
have
did with
been
Sav and they
some-
get that 11 or whatever again, because they brought a couple teams to the brink, like that's a different conversation. But today was not it.
Like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, there are some known quantities around the player they dropped. But also he was doing well that they brought every team they played to the brink.
Yep.
So the fact you got in, I don't want to say Lance was their best fragger because I don't have a stance. I don't have a stance behind that. But Lance is not a bad player. And so you stick him with a role he isn't used to and having him IGL, it's a bit awkward. So, I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's like you just can't put anyone else there, in my opinion. 13's interesting.
I would say Ohms. Just given
Yeah.
recent form.
Yeah, I was gonna put Ohms at 14, and I
belongs to
forgot AP
Ohms.
has yet to win a game.
Yeah.
So, well, let's ask. Well, I guess yeah.
I mean, Ohms lost to Cow, head to head. Obviously, Cow hadn't had a win till then, so it's like you can't. Team's probably not looking great right now.
Yeah, I agree. And that sucks. Yeah, I don't know. It's match day 5 now, so it's like, it's tough because I had a sub, but yeah, really, realistically, there isn't another team that like belongs to be 13.
And I'll say this. I shit you not. 90% of our T side was running the same default. It doesn't matter whether or not you have your collar. If you're losing to defaults like that, there's bigger issues.
No, yeah, but you
I'm just
said,
saying.
yeah, but you said on your T side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
yeah, so it's like, and the point was like, yes, CT is like, you don't need a collar, but if you're telling me that you were winning T rounds because you were just defaulting, then that's because they didn't have.
That tells me that a caller would have been like,
that
"Hey,
a
we need to
caller was
like just
needed.
double push something, and
Yeah,
then
'cause
have a
that
4v5
sound-
advantage."
Because that sounds like a lot of like people were taking fights that they didn't need to fight, or they were taking map space that they didn't need to fight. Like if you're telling me you were successful on your T side because you just sat in 2-1-2 or 1-1-3 and they just pushed you and you were able to get frags, like that's because there was no one telling them what the goal is.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But I'm still not going to take your W away from you. I'm just saying.
Just Noah had that big long drawn out thing just for Noah to be like, yeah, you didn't deserve that win, by the way, guys.
No, I mean like you did get the W, like you did like beat them, but it's like if you're,
Right.
I thought you won on your T side because you just were like you strategized better, but if you lost because of defaults, then that's definitely a caller thing. But I mean, you still won, so kudos. Anyway,
So at number 12,
number 12, I feel like it does go to Cal.
I was gonna say I would
Yeah.
put Cow
I
at
mean,
this
like,
point.
and this
Cow or
isn't-
UPS, right?
it's
Cow or UPS. Yeah.
I agree, Cal or UPS. But the only thing is, what do we weigh higher? UPS's upset against ATL, because I would argue that is an upset, or Cal's win against DRG, especially
Yeah.
when we have DRG at the 13th spot.
True.
I think we also look at overall performance and round difference, and UPS's total round difference is better by 10 or 11.
That's fair.
Like that's not a huge margin, but it is like
Well, technically, they're better by 19 because UPS is in the positive. So and
Yeah.
Cal's in the negative.
UPS
Yeah, Cal's
in round
positive.
difference. They're at -13.
Oh, I'm looking at contender. My apologies, Shane.
I was just like, am I crazy? Because that could definitely be
No.
the case.
No, I was tripping balls. Yeah, -13 to -24. I was like, how do they have a positive 8 difference? And they're like 2 and 3. Anyway, yeah, I think Cal does go here, just because I think that the weight of Spaghetti's beating ATL is stronger than Cal beating DRG. Not to say, like I said, that it was an easy. Like it's like I'm glad you got the W. That's what I want to say, and I think that your movement up is warranted, but I couldn't see it going like any more than that, in my opinion.
Not from this
'Cause-
one game, at least.
Oh, I gotcha.
Because like the only other person, and this is who I would like, it's like I would only argue.
You did jump 2 whole spots.
The
Yeah.
only
No, I'm
other-
not complaining. Shit.
the only other like position that I would argue is like putting Hell this far down, but Hell beat you.
No, I think
that-
I think 11
mean,
would go to UPS.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm saying like in terms of like, the scale. Not saying that
Right.
Hell is 12, but I'm saying like I have
Well,
them moving down. But anyway,
let's just throw
yeah.
UPS at 11, then, right?
I think. Well, do you think UPS? And this is the whole point, right? Because it's like we go based off of tonight's. So does UPS beating ATL or Deadbeats stomping Hell 13-4? Right. If we look at last match day.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
guys
you're right.
You put Hell at 7, and then you put Harpies at 3. So Spaghetti's a 12 team beating a number 3, and then
Yeah.
11 an 11 team beating a 17. So it's like
No,
I
I
would
think you're
say,
right, actually.
and this is the whole point. Like I put Hell at 11.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
So and I mean
I'm sleeping on UPS. I'm a
you know,
Hellfire fan, but yeah, that
like,
game doesn't look good, you know.
all I'm gonna say is, they were talking too big for their pants, and unless they can get it together this next match day, like I think that this is where they sit.
I do have a question. Does that mean we're putting Spaghettis over Mist?
I haven't gotten to that part yet. But
Yeah, I'm
but
thinking about it.
I would say yes.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
But you can't. But the only thing that you can argue is Mist did beat UPS head to head last match day.
Yeah, but that was
That's a pretty valid argument.
That was
Yeah.
that was a baby form of the UPS. That was the new UPS.
No,
No,
it was
no, that was
their
what they're
brand new
saying.
lineup. First
Yeah.
day with the new lineup.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
you
it's
telling
like,
me from a Tuesday to a Thursday game they've gained?
Hey, man.
Like
I mean,
million
if
times
we want to
better?
call the UPS game a fluke, I'm down to just say that.
I mean, I don't.
I don't
I
think.
If
don't.
we're
I'm
saying
not.
this, if tonight was a fluke, I'm down to say that.
No, I don't think it's a fluke.
I'm
But what
down
I'm
to say
saying,
that.
what I'm saying is that, like, I think that um, UPS is better than hell and better than the other teams, but I wouldn't say that they're better than Wet
Hmm.
All right,
as of
all right,
this moment.
all right, all right.
And then at 8, I have a Nan.
So
Does that feel wrong to anyone?
I don't know. I'm just thinking, do we?
Nan or
Yeah, that looks good.
DB?
Well, the only person that we're forgetting, right, is Deadbeats, right?
Yeah, but I think Deadbeats is really getting a power boost. Like I would actually put them above
I
Nan.
I also would put them above Nan.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is like Nan at 8, 7 we put Deadbeats.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
because
I agree with that.
like, and this is what's tough. It's like Nan has lost um against DRG, and they've lost against Goshi, and Goshi kind of smacked them, and Nan beat the UPS match. They won UPS. Then they beat AP, right? And
Yeah.
that was right after the Monty trade because Monty's not in there. And then Nan beats Wet tonight. So it's like I think that Nan is 8, DB is 7 for sure. That's a probably
Yep,
I think that's valid.
I agree with that.
At
I
the
think
same time, I think it's gonna require a lot for DB to be
I think
like they
DB
need to play pretty fucking well to get that playoff spot
like
of
DB.
like straight in.
I think DB's only 7 because they basically said, "Yeah, we got Tez, and now we just went in 13-4 to team."
Mhm.
So it's like the potential, I think, is what's carrying them
Yeah, I
on the
agree
pow-
100%. I just mean like
on the power rankings. Which it's like come Cal game tomorrow or next Tuesday, if they get the fucking shit stomped in, like then they're right back to the bottom. Like in my opinion, I'm just saying.
no, I don't disagree. It's just like
yeah.
Goofy would have put that.
Yeah,
I
goofy
think that their
compliment.
season, if we look at their schedule, it's still not going to be easy for them. They have to play Sav and Frog. So like I said, I don't know. Like I want them to prove over the next few games that they like deserve to be at 7, but I don't disagree with them being placed there.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at 6 through, I'd say 6 and 5 here. So
I
I would
think.
say, oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to hear your opinion first.
I was gonna say I've got 6 going to FRG
No,
personally.
see, I don't agree with that one. I
What do
would
you
say
think?
6 goes to ATL. I know that's a harsh fall, but losing to
I
UPS, that's a tough bounce. And FRG put up a bigger fight against the number 1 team, ABW, than they
well, let me
did
ask you this then.
against
ATL
ATL.
won the head-to-head against Frog.
And they've also beat Servals.
So does it like I
Harpies
don't
beat Sav.
yeah,
Yes, we
last
did.
match day.
Last match
So
day.
so
Okay. All right. No,
it's
you're right. Maybe we.
it's like I don't think
Right.
that we just disregard the Vertigo game tonight against UPS, right? But I mean, you could argue like because Enders couldn't fucking shoot anything tonight because he's sick, their
I
team has
still sound
suffered.
like death.
But
You know what I
Go.
mean? So
power rankings are supposed to be a little short term. You know what I mean?
no, I know, but what I'm saying though is like, do you take? I mean, I would say that I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, they've head to head that team, so I don't like, and it was the same score line as this, 13-10. So like, I don't see how you put Frog above them when they beat them. That's just in my mind.
All right. All right. I agree with the 6 and 5 we have here. We got 6 for FRG and 5 for. I think that makes sense.
Like I would put 6 Frog and 5 ATL. That's how I personally have it in my mind.
But then by your logic, like
I think
ATL
that's
more
accurate.
recently beat Sav.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say that, but the only reason that I would carry Sav higher is because of, I mean, like, of course, this is like playing against my own bias, but it's like, yes, did they beat AVI when we're 2 players down and one of them being our star player? But they still also did beat us. So like, I think that that carries more than a loss to ATL. But I mean, if you think otherwise, then I mean, like, I can see both pictures, but I don't think me saying, "Oh, well, they lost to ATL and blah 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 blah," like, and they beat me when we were weak. Like, I don't think that's a valid argument. But I feel like we're missing a team. Why do I feel like? Why are we missing?
We're
It's
not missing a team.
no, I know,
Um,
but who's left? It's
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 Sav,
Hawks.
AVI, OS.
Oh, OS. That's what I'm forgetting.
hmm
The
Everyone forgets
only
about OS, man.
Yeah. So this is the only question I would have here. Okay. And Shane, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Because of the last 3 teams that are left, and I know I said it earlier, but I would argue that 3 of Goshi's games are against some of the easiest in the tier. Okay.
I would not disagree with that statement out of
And I
hand.
would and I would second that statement by saying that they almost lost to one of the worst teams in the tier, 13-11. And they
I
also lost to Sav. So if you wanted to put anything, Goshi 4, AVI 3, Sav 2.
Okay, I can agree with that.
those are
I-
so tight though. Like I don't think
It
you're
is
wrong,
tight.
but like
I can agree
the
with it.
margins that we're talking about here are super super close. So like when we say OS is 4, Hawks is 3, Savs 2, all of these teams in the top 4 could beat every other team, like given an eco win or like a pistol round and something big like that that can really turn the momentum of a game. Like it is close contention for these 4
top
spots.
4?
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
What's that, Enders?
Man,
Top 4
Yeah,
is
no,
OS.
I agree. Sav, OS, Hawks, like all of these teams could take us depending on the game. I think that, and they can all
I
take
love
each
the
other.
foot you say.
Okay.
And realistically, like, I just think, and of course, this is how it's gonna go, right? And I said it from the beginning, and when we were talking about the match, I'm not gonna take away Sav's win, right? And that's why I think like they should be over AVI. But I would say like you could also argue because what does it look like other ways? But even if it does go the other way, let's say let's say we do have the 5 and we still beat them tonight, I would still say Sav's a top 4 team.
yeah, of course. The top four
So
is so
Yeah.
close.
so it's like realistically, Sav's spot is secured. And Goshi going at 4, and the only reason I put Hawks higher than Goshi is because we've had tougher competition. We played Frog, then we played Sav, and yeah, so our match day 1 was Hell, which match day 1 Hell people worried about and then kept talking about. Match day 2 we played Cow, which people were still thinking that they could do something. The Deadbeats game, right? That was when DB was weak. Beating Frog, and then the Sav game tonight. Yeah, it hurts, which is why I think we dropped. But I think that our strength of schedule is a little bit harder than what
Mhm.
Goshi's had to play. And also, I think the thing that really holds Goshi is this 13-11 to DRG. Like, that's just insane to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what the details are surrounding that, but I think that you certainly
Fair
have
enough.
to give it, at least at face value, like
Yeah.
a little bit of a
No, I'm sure.
question
I'm
mark.
sure. I'm
But
sure there's a story
Do
behind it.
we
Like, don't get me wrong. So,
Dewey brings up a really good point though, man. I can't. It doesn't feel right having FRG be below ATL
but how can you put them above them when ATL beat them?
because he went double. They went double OT against you. Yeah, and then
Okay.
they went 10 rounds off us. And then when they played ATL, yes, they did lose, but that was really early on in the season. and they still got turned
No,
around.
that was
Yeah.
Okay,
match
but
day
let me
3.
then let me
Okay,
ask
what's
you
match
this.
day 5?
Match day so
however many.
match day 3, we beat them. Then they play AVI. They go into double OT. Then they play
Us today,
for
match
Sun
day 5.
13-10.
Yeah.
But ATL goes, they beat Tadpole, then they go beat Sav, who
Exactly.
to this
That's the
point
other
is Sav's
point.
only match day loss in CS2. And then, of course, we lose to Spaghettis, but also the thing you can say with that is, I was sick as fuck. I'm still running a 104 fever.
I
I don't
I
disagree with
I
these standings,
I
honestly.
I
We can
just
keep them
think
the way it is. I just want
I
everyone to know my opinion.
I just think
I don't.
Jackson.
I'm
Okay,
putting an
I think
asterisk.
Shane. I think
for that-
Shane is throwing a slide
for
out
that,
there
bro.
for saying
Jackson,
only the top 4 teams could possibly be ABW.
well,
I think you could
Jackson,
expand that to top 5, dickhead.
Jackson,
Possibly top 6.
I just think that because you made the point earlier. Okay, well, what do we count more? ATL's win against Sav, and if you're telling me that ATL beat Sav, which we've always had in the top 5 and up since the start, right?
Of this season.
So then
Yeah.
it's like if they beat them,
Alright,
how the
that's
hell are
fine,
you going to
okay.
say that because Frog went double OT and then 13-10 against the top 2? Like at the end of the day,
We're not
they
changing the
lost.
rankings, and you're not
'Cause the
changing my
thing is,
mind. So I
the
think
thing
we
with
just gotta
this
move
also
on.
is if we really want to, we can throw ATL above Hawks because they lost to Sav.
Yeah, but I think now you're moving too much because now you're forgetting about your UPS loss.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
buddy, but you lost to Sav, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, lost to Sav with 2 minus players, Enders.
We lost to Frog with the person with the most kills in the entire tier running a 104 fever. Fuck
Oh
you.
my god.
Okay,
All right.
at this point in time, I'd like to say that First Sun has never played with its full roster, and we beat
Don't give
Frog
me
today.
that
So Enders,
Okay,
no,
3
but
of those.
Enders
Wait,
said, the top 5 and even the top 6 teams could beat you. Blah blah. Blah. The top 6 team tried today. They didn't, and we didn't even have our fucking 5 players. So I don't want to hear that Frog
here's
could
what I
beat us.
have
They
to
could,
Shane.
they could, but like we
Shane,
beat them today, not full roster.
All I'm
Shane,
gonna say
3 of those match days were one of your players' own faults.
Oh,
Yeah, no, but like you still can say like,
Well, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that he wasn't there.
yeah,
All I'm
like the
saying-
end result is we
not you.
played without our full roster. So like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not
the-
saying that.
The only thing that I will
I'm
say,
just saying
it's
3 of those match days are one of your players' own faults. So
Yeah, but that doesn't change. That doesn't change
doesn't
the fact that
matter.
it's true. Yeah, exactly.
Also, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think that these Enders, why are you complaining? You've been in top 5 since the start.
no,
of the
I know,
fucking season.
I know. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying semantics.
If I remember correctly, the beginning of the season, he goes, "I'll never vouch for my team to be higher than what you guys place me."
No, but if you want to
Yeah.
get into semantics of we lost 2 players and da 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 da
Also, if you
da.
really want to get into semantics, I remember a certain preseason match where we absolutely dumpster canned you.
Okay, now you're becoming trash. Calm down.
It wasn't a scrim; it was a match with
As
your
preseason
5.
match,
Seasons
that's
are just
basically a scrim.
scrims.
I'm just saying it was your 5 against my 5, and you
Look,
got dumpstered.
last I checked, I only perform well in matches, so
That's a match.
preseasons are scrims.
That's a match.
Preseason matches are just scrims, but like maybe you
let's
get
scrim
All right,
different
whatever.
players.
All right, Noah,
Whatever.
I remember you saying
act like
something
that's
about
gonna
Hey
help
Shane,
at
by
all.
the way. Did you
Yeah,
want to elaborate on that or no?
No, because
Okay.
because what I was gonna say doesn't matter because I thought about it. What I was going to say is you have
IGL man, use
benefited.
brain.
What you've benefited from on your subs, right? Is you've been able to have like the same couple subs, right? So,
We're
like
familiar with subs, yes.
right,
Like
exactly.
we know
So,
the guys that we're
so
playing with for the most
it-
part, but
exactly. Like you've had Tez in 2 of your games already. You've had Cool Guy in 2 of your games. You had Huntwick on the match day 2. And then tonight you had A-Trax. So like realistically, like you've only ever played with two
Well,
brand spanking new subs to your team.
No.
this is
nope,
just
no. We
That's
still had
not
to play
true.
with both of those
Yeah,
subs for the first time as well for
exactly.
No, I
Tez
Yeah,
and
understand,
you're
Cool
but
Guy.
forgetting that we still had
okay.
to play with
Oh my
Tez and
goodness.
Cool Guy for the first time.
Also,
So
you were playing
that's
with
only
Tez
two
way before.
matches.
Because you
Actually,
playing with preseason and you
no.
playing with
What
Tez
you're
in
saying is
preseason.
there's only 2 matches that we haven't been familiar with the team.
Yes, thank you for my grammatical
But still,
clarification, Jackson.
that's more than
I'm
50%.
but
That's less
what
than
I'm
50% of the
what I'm
match.
saying, and this is what I was trying to get to, is that this is just like your test or fuck, I don't fucking know the word. It's too big for my brain right now. Testament that you can bring a player in and kind of have them be familiar with your system and then be able to use them again and then still reap the benefits, and still have them
Mhm.
perform, right? Which I mean, like, and I think Enders is trying to say that, oh well,
What?
because you had subs, this is why you're this way. Even though I would say that you, like, even with you having subs, realistically, you've always been at like 90%, like 90% of your peak, right? Because you either will have your 3 or 4 core, right? And then you have the fifth that's like, yeah, you've played with them once or twice, or I'm sure that you've practiced with them before the
Nope.
match. Okay.
Practice before the match would be like warming up. Essentially, that's
Yeah,
about it.
maybe. Yeah.
Right. Well, at least you get them in the scrim more often than not,
Yeah, that's true. We do get them in
right?
scrim usually in that case.
I know most subs do that when they're 7
Yeah.
13 in the match, they asked if they can do the scrim as well.
Well, you want that as well. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Well, it's a
optimal.
given. What you would hope.
Usually, I mean,
But
why
anyway,
wouldn't you
it's
have them do the scrim?
well, because some subs,
It might be like if our player
they
can
do
make
both.
scrim but can't make match, then you're like, okay, cool, but like we'd kind of prefer to get the reps in with the guy who's going to be playing in the match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm just saying that, I think that you guys have been able to play really well, and I think that you're at 90% of what your peak potential is, right? And I'm excited to see what you are at 100%,
God, you and me both, dude.
which should be this next match day, right?
Sure hope so. Be fucking embarrassing if we lose the first one together as 5.
Because Tilly is back, right? Because he missed these past 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
Tilly's
then,
fire too.
well,
I'm
I know I
excited.
love Tilly as well, but I
All
don't
I'm
think
s-
I'm just excited to see you with your 5, as long as there's no other schedule complications.
Well, who knows?
I have
Everyone's
to
how it goes.
say, it would be really fucking hilarious if Sav just win out the rest of the season. And so their only loss regular season is to us. That'd be fucking insane.
Yeah, this guy just daydreaming about ATL. Holy.
You
Yeah,
act like you
definitely
don't
fever dream
daydream
right
about
there.
APW, brother.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see next week, Shane.
Okay,
We'll
you're right.
see.
Yeah, I'm daydreaming that it's fucking 5-0 for ABW. Pinch me.
Pinch me. Yeah. I
Really,
do. I
you're
dream
0 and
about.
5.
Yeah.
King
Sounds
of
more
I'm actually,
accurate.
I'm actually really am excited to watch your game against Sav.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be a
think
banger.
that's gonna be I
Because
think that one's gonna be a
It's gonna
banger.
be a banger.
I
Yeah, for
would have
sure.
loved to have my
Fuck.
5 against
Busy
them,
weekend. Gotta do a bunch of
and
prep for that match.
and I'm excited to see you have your 5 against them, because I think it'll be a good game, and then they'll have their 5 as well, because they had a sub tonight.
So I think my thing is that really shocks me is that Cayman isn't doing a ton of that. I
He
think the
is.
reason they
He
seem
lied.
oh, he is.
He
Maybe
lied.
that loss woke him up because he didn't seem to do much against ATL.
He told me, I go, because this is beforehand and everything, and things were going on and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, shoot me straight. How much are you going to bend me over? And he goes, I've got 4 pages on you. And I go, fantastic. And then he's like, yeah, I was like, well, Cayman, you told me when you started this season, like, you don't know if you're really going to do that, like that side of it, like the diving into the anti-stratting. And he's like, yeah, but then like we played our first game and I really liked all the guys. So I'm just going to try my hardest. And I was like, all right,
Dude, Cayman lives for the anti-strat. He yearns
So
Yeah.
for it.
yeah, so I mean, to say that he's like not doing it is just incorrect. And I already know that he's not only watched every single one of my demos, but he's also watched every single one of ABW's demos.
Probably, man.
So, you know, which I
I
mean,
mean,
but it's also like teams should like. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I'm
yeah,
AP, I'd fucking watch your demos too because I try to copy it. Like, I mean, like clearly what's
yeah.
working is working. You know.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
like it doesn't. I don't know what it is, but to me, our like
I mean, I
game
agree.
doesn't
Like,
really
it's
feel
not.
replicatable because a lot of the time it's like, what are we fucking working with today, boys? Who's on the squad? Let's see what's
I don't know
up.
how we do it. I don't know
I
how
mean,
Yeah.
we do it.
I agree. I mean, I don't think like you can. I don't think you can do it from any team. Like, where you just watch their demo and be like, we're gonna do exactly what they did. But it's also like I'm sure there's teams that have watched the top 4 teams and try to take from it. Martyr even mentioned it, when he was like, "Don't think I haven't watched all your demos. We've done the VOD reviews against like being the team that's getting against like the teams that are the top. Like Hell, for example. Like I'm shocked that Hell hasn't done demo reviews of their game against us, of the game against you. Like, and if they have, like, I would like for him, them to kind of put some of it in motion. But we'll have to
Hmm.
see.
Well, is that about all we got on the slate for today, boys?
Well,
Um,
I didn't know if we wanted to do any predictions or anything like
Predictions?
that. Unfortunately, our editor in chief is using the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
I
So
will
I guess
say,
we'll kind of just
no,
stall for time here.
what I was gonna say about like the Sav like anti-stratting thing is
Mhm.
it's very hard to anti-strat some teams that you don't know what the fuck they're doing. Either A, because they haven't played that map yet, or B, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
There are
I
some
will
teams that
say,
you'll watch and you'll be like, how'd they win that round? And it's because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, so it's very hard for you to know what the fuck they're doing.
yeah, I mean, I will say in my personal opinion that, like, even though maybe every team hasn't played every map, but every team has similar tendencies on most maps. They kind of play the same kind of site
Yeah.
setups. They keep the kind of same players together. For the most part, at least. If it's working, why stop? So I think like there definitely is demos are out there. Go watch them, learn your stuff.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, there is a famous saying that you can't anti-strap bullets. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's about you may have all the info on that team, but if you can't put it into practice, then how do you expect to win?
Yeah.
So
Choo choo. Can't stop the Shane train.
I
Except
can't
for
stop
Frog
the
today.
miracle
They
train.
certainly tried. They threw like a fucking mattress on the tracks and I got derailed for a while there, but
Can't throw
don't
the
matter.
ride train.
Yeah. You can stop one of us, you can't stop all of us.
Yeah, you're
It's actually a really good like point about our team is I think it's really hard to stop all of us at once.
yeah.
You can shut down one or two of us, but there are one or two other people to pick up the slack there pretty fucking quick, which is why when I said previously on the show that I could get 0 frags and we'd still win, because
It's
you'd have
just
to put a lot of effort into making me get 0 frags. And I think that when you do that, we have an Opper, and we have a
Yeah.
Rye, and we have a Brian, and we have a Tilly, and
and
they're
I
gonna
have
fucking
all.
get you. We got a killer whale on our team who has literally eaten people before. What are you gonna do?
I'm glad that you know the reference.
Yes.
Oh yeah, who doesn't know Telecom?
Some people don't.
At
What if
first I didn't. I learned it because of him. I remember I think
yeah,
I did a
exactly.
combine and I was like, no
Exactly.
way
You
your
had to
name is
ask.
Telecom.
Anyway, yeah, man.
Are we ready to do some predictions here?
I think so.
Oh hell
All right,
yeah.
we got him pulled up on the stream
Yeah,
there.
dude, wait, Clancy
Wait,
just
that
made
is
the
for
move.
the 27th.
It's so smart.
Yeah, okay, that is correct. Sorry, for some reason I thought that was 7 days from now. 29, bad at math. Failed Calc 3 twice, just FYI. So what do we want to start with? Just top to bottom, boys?
Yeah,
We'll
top to
just
bottom
top to
feels
bottom.
right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
And yeah, I'll kick it off here with the Goshi pick. I mean, Goshi's got to win this, right?
Should do.
Goshi has to.
hmm
I think if
Yeah.
Goshi doesn't win this in like a strong, like I don't know, fewer than 8 rounds type beatdown, that is not a great look for them.
I agree with that. Absolutely. The only real problem I see with this game is like not saying like anything super crazy, but I mean you're giving the weekend to the wet guys to iron out any kinks with the new pickup,
Mhm.
and it's like there's an opportunity that they might be able to do something. I just think that I have to go with OS here. I mean, like, I think OS has shown that they do beat teams, but like Shane said, and I wholeheartedly agree with this, and this is why I ranked them where I did in the power rankings, which is like, if they don't beat Wet and it's like not handedly, I think it shows. Like, if they don't beat them handedly or they just lose, like, I think it definitely shows like against tougher competition, they aren't
Yeah,
the
there's no
strongest
way they
team.
can lose.
But I
This
think they
should
win
be a very easy
regardless.
game.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to
I'm
see Hell
Goshi.
bring it to him though. I'd like to see Hell come out on fire.
You mean,
Low Seals, or sorry, Hell. I mean, missed. Low Seal's been fucking killing it, dude.
yeah, man,
You
he's
seen
having
that
a
guy's
really good
stats, man?
season.
He's having a really
He,
good season. I'm hoping that both the
Yep.
boys can come out.
he's a
I
great
do
player
think
and a
it's
great
Goshi,
guy.
but I'd love to see Low Seal bring it to him.
Yeah, I think what's kind of getting the ATL treatment that I said. I think after match day 2, which is like Lucio needs some help. You know, who's gonna step up to help him in the kill department? You can't have one guy killing the whole team.
Hmm.
Like when everyone else is sitting around the 13 and kind of under area most match days, it's like, well, I mean, I can only go out on a site and kill 2 people so many times, like, you know. So, but I got Goshi.
Gotta be.
Yeah, gotta be Yoshi.
Got to be Goshi. Clean sweep there.
Clean sweep on the Goshi side.
Not really
Alright.
a shocker, to be honest. I guess I kind of segue this. Nan and ATL here. To be honest with you, I think there's a lot at stake. Both of these teams.
It's a big game.
This is
Yeah.
not like just saying like, oh, this is gonna be game of the week or whatever. Like, not that like there's any rivalry, but like in terms of stakes on standings, this is the
This will have
game where
implications.
Hmm.
both of them sitting at 3-2. It seems like ATL just is going win loss, win win loss. It's like they got to find the groove and they got to get in gear and move it. And then Nan is kind of on the up. I mean,
Yeah.
I think this is probably going to be the hardest team that they have an opportunity to beat. I think that would be the word I would use. Just because like yeah, they played Goshi, um, but it's like Goshi wins that, especially match day 3 Nan. So it's like uh, they have an opportunity to come out and win this ATL game. It's just, are they going to be able to do it? In my opinion, though, ATL clears,
Yeah,
especially if you
yeah,
can get
I
that fever
agree.
down.
Agreed.
I agree. I think ATL has the better team. Um, but who knows? Maybe Nan can. Maybe they are gluing. Maybe they're cooking.
Maybe they can get Ender sick again. Maybe
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
keep
maybe
him off the Sudafed.
instead of getting
Let's.
hit by a Jetta Enders, you're just like constantly sick.
God, fuck my life.
All right.
Anyway,
Is that it for
I think that's an
Oh
ATL
I mean,
yeah.
sweep.
if
I'm
you think
sure
I'm
there's
betting against ATL, you're stupid.
okay.
I'm
DB
on enough
versus Cal.
Sudafed to fucking kill a person.
I'm not gonna lie here. I've got Cal
Really?
only because right. I was we were talking to Martyr about it, which is like they have had the benefit to play with their 5 almost every match day, and if I know Siegel and I know Noble and everyone like that, they're not playing this season so that they can go 1-9 again. So you gotta be like they have to be putting time outside the server, and at some point, it's got to click. I think
Mhm.
tonight was a little demonstration of it. Do I think it could have gone a different way if DRG had their caller? Maybe, but you don't know that, right? So
hmm
I think that this is an opportunity for Cal to be like, yeah, we're finally like clicking, and I think Cal can do it. You know, maybe Noble should have never woke up one day and thought he was an IGL. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe it's always been Siegel's destined
Seagulls
goal. You know,
calling.
Mhm.
especially playing under Ethan last season. Shout out Ethan. Ethan does have a brain. I just think that the season wasn't the best for him, but he's got some good ideas, and I think Siegel is
Quote
definitely.
unquote development.
I think Siegel's definitely getting some of that, and I think they have the hunger to do it with deadbeats. I think it's just like, can Tez carry again? Like I don't think that team is even in the ballpark if Tez isn't on there.
Agreed. But
Yeah,
if Tez pops off, that's
if
gonna
Tez
be hard
pops
for
off,
Cal.
it's
So
deadbeats. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But I've got Cal just for the story.
I've got DB. Gotta
Yeah,
gotta
I'm
rep
taking.
Tez.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm taking DB. I don't think Tez is gonna falter. And then, I mean, Nickel and Rymaster both have the ability to come in strong. And if one of them, decide to join Tez and frag out, the team is good. The team knows how to play. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
think they can. I think they can get it done.
I'd say the only advice I'd have for Cal is like do your homework on this team. Think about where you want to bring him, and the
Yeah,
same can go for DB as well. But like Cal can probably make some stuff more uncomfortable for
yeah.
them because Cal has that level of comfort with having
having
played 5 matches together, and
yeah.
I think that they can really use that to their advantage by pushing the envelope of like what map are we both
I
uncomfortable
think
on
this
because
probably will be a map based win.
yeah.
Like I think if this goes to God, if it goes to fucking Anubis,
Mhm.
like Cal's just asking to lose, in my
Hmm.
opinion. Like you can't tell me that
You got to think outside the box here.
you're gonna pick Anubis not only because they beat Hell 13-4, right? But also you got to think about how much time and energy DB put into the map that they got 13-0 and then they got 13-3 on. Like their Anubis is probably pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if Cal wants to win this, you said it absolutely correct, Shane. They got to bring it to a different map. Maybe do show one of your pocket maps. So we'll have to see.
We will. Uh, I have to go
Anyways, who do you have?
Cal. I,
Yeah.
I really, I could see it going either way, but like how I just need them to get that other win quickly.
Yeah, they
I
got to get
can't
it
have them
now.
going. I can't have them going as bad as they did last season.
Yeah, and I mean, if they get that W, then I mean, shit, it's only up from there, right? It can't get
Yeah,
worse.
and then they can start going in, and we start looking at them as an actual playoff contender.
Well, and
Uh,
then Noble can get more than 2 wins,
yeah,
which I hope so.
All right.
yeah.
Moving on, I guess. Hey.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
also, Jackson, I didn't tell you, but congrats. This is your
Why?
best. This is your best start to the
My.
season.
It's
Oh
his
yeah,
best season so far.
that's my
Yeah.
best season so far for sure. Yeah, I'm
Anyway,
glad.
Just needed the right IGL.
don't you can't say that shit.
I'm gonna
Stop.
take all the credit. I don't care. Who drops him that
Listen,
off, baby? That's me. I'll take a Mac 10. Hold W. I don't need to think.
yeah, but
It's true.
who crafted Jackson?
I have no idea. God, clearly.
Noble.
Look at him.
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't even say anything, Jackson. You know it's true.
Anyways, I gotta
Anyway.
go with DRG here. I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
DRG sweeps as long
AP
as they don't
just
have.
looks
If
bad right now.
if
You
I don't
guys
know what
think I'm gonna go against the fold here? I think AP has a return to form against their game against like Sav, and like they just fucking go on a tear.
I'm gonna be honest.
I could be wrong.
I don't want to be the person to say it, right? But if DRG, I don't know if there's scheduling issues or something like that, but DRG with their 5 is a strong team, right? It's the same kind of thing with Deadbeats. Now that Deadbeats found their 5, DRG just hasn't been able to get their 5. And if you're telling me that you think AP comes back and with the big change, getting rid of your IGL, right? And picking up because from my knowledge, Zulu played season 10, hasn't played in CSC since. Like I'd be intrigued if the rust is there for team play, right? Because I mean, I think you pointed out earlier, Jackson, that they haven't played the last 2 games, right? They've been
Yep.
subbed out, so it's like
It is weird.
if it goes into another sub, I don't think they get it. I just don't think they. It's not a good game for them. But I got DRG. DRG clears this, in my opinion.
Don't know.
Anders?
Either way.
What are you
Anders?
saying, Shane?
No? I just think it could go either way, but I'm curious to hear
Yeah.
Ender's thoughts if he's not actively dying.
That was a few seconds ago.
Sorry, the way that you
Um,
laughed there, you are. God, get this man some fucking NyQuil, please.
Yeah, I'm about to go take some NyQuil after this. I've been on enough DayQuil today to kill a person, but we'll swap to the
It's gonna
NyQuil
be
after this.
fucking bedtime, he says.
I think because AP lost their collar, I think that if this is AP with Monty, like the team we saw the first like 3 match days, I think this does go AP, but sadly that's not their team anymore. So I think DRG, as long as they have their full 5 stack, take this and take this pretty well.
Yeah, easy dub. Easy
I'm going
W.
against the grain here. We'll see.
Well, this is the first time that I'll beat you in a pick'em. So
First time you'll
Congratulations
beat me.
to you, bro.
that's just not the case. I mean,
Alright.
what the fuck? Okay.
Alright,
I'm sorry.
anyway,
Aren't
back
you the
to
one
Mo.
who said earlier that we had a big tie? Anywho, next match.
Yeah, big tie.
Yeah, so you haven't beaten me.
Yeah, and you haven't beaten me.
Yeah, so I'm not saying it's the first time
Yeah,
that
but
like.
you're insinuating like
man,
you
oh,
haven't beat me
man.
though. But I
Alright,
beat you.
girls, come on now, let's go.
Yeah, we're just at the end of the day, we're both fighting over Jackson's love, so it's like
That's basically what it is. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, we gotta go ABW. Obviously, I can't be.
I mean, it's not even a contest, is it? It's gonna be a fucking
Yes.
contest. This is match of the week.
It is contest. I think that this is. I definitely, like
Excuse
I said, Cayman knows what he's doing, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Shane. I genuinely think that because Cayman and UK did not get the game that they wanted tonight against us, that they are gonna want it from you. And this is probably the double overtime game. If this doesn't go to an overtime, I would be shocked.
Ooh,
In my
you're
opinion.
predicting an overtime. Okay, well, who's winning it? Look, I just want to hear the answer and then the explanation.
Personally,
Fuck your smile. I know what you're saying.
I do
Wrong.
have ABW.
Oh no! Oh no! I played myself.
The reason.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I love Sav and I love Cayman and I love UK, right? But the only other person on that team, if Bye Bye has a game that he did tonight, it goes in Sav's favor, right? But I've seen it firsthand in our scrims outside of server, playing with you, that they have, ABW has enough potential on their team where anyone can make an impact, which is why I think it goes to OT, because Sav, I would argue, has the highest room for potential, and you have the highest of consistency, right? So it's gonna come down to like, if Sav plays and you guys are consistent, it will be a grudge match. If you are consistent like you always are, and Sav doesn't come to play, then yeah, it like is in your favor handedly. Right?
Well, you say
But
we're consistent, but it's gonna be weird because it's gonna be our first time with our full squad.
Yeah.
So
I know.
like in reality, consistent for us was like,
with the
let's see who's subbing today, and let's like
I know,
kinda
but
play
it's
like
still,
that. But
it's still you're
it's
consistent
different.
with 4 players, right? Like,
Yeah.
and this is what like the game earlier, my game earlier, where it's like at the end of the day, in every match day that you have, other than I think it was match day 2 when you needed 2 subs, you've had at least your buddy on your site, like, or wherever you're playing or things like that. Like that's your person that you've been playing with every match day or outside of server, things like that. So it's like, I think that that's going to go into it. And that's where I think the consistent comes in. Plus, like, we've already seen how Tilly's played and Brian's come on and played. actually really, I think pretty well for, coming in 3 days, 3 match days late, basically, basically picking off where your subs left off,
Mhm.
and I think it's just going to come down to this is probably a battle of who's
Who's
got the
better on the
most,
day?
yeah, a better on the day, and then also, how much you are going to let Cayman in your head.
Guys,
My
Because
brain is empty.
yeah, and your brain may
So
be empty, but the demos aren't empty, and that's the thing with Cayman is he'll
yeah,
look for every adapt, and I think you're both. I mean, especially you, Shane.
Well, he's not ready for the nuke pick or the
They,
ancient pick because we're gonna pick
they
ancient, and I definitely haven't said that we're perma banning it. Every other time that I've talked about it, we're picking ancient.
well, all I will say is I know you're not going to pick nuke, so it's just not going to happen. But anyway, we'll have to see what happens. But I
um,
do have ABW.
so here's the thing. This is the second match day in a row that Bye Bye has dropped 24 plus. And so even with a sub, I know Cayman, of course, it's gonna get dropped after you guys play. The Cayman has heat mapped you, and I mean legitimately heat mapped you. I think Cayman is gonna out anti-strat you guys. Sure, can anti out strat bullets and everything, but I do think Sav wins this.
All right, respect.
Um,
Cool.
I just think they're gonna take you to a map you guys have already played. I think the best thing you could do is take them to a map you guys haven't played. And if you do
Ender's
that,
Ender's.
I think you guys win. But I think if you take them to a map you guys have already played, it's not going to work well.
I think
Well,
we'll have a
ABW's
plan together
basically
for this
already played
game.
every map in the fucking in the pool. So
What we have?
yeah,
We played Inferno twice, Mirage,
I mean,
Once,
including in preseason.
Overpass,
twice.
and Vertigo.
No, we haven't played Vertigo.
We did in preseason, I
We
believe.
scrimmed. I think we scrimmed on it a couple of times, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Scrims
at
are
this
also
point,
available for demos. So.
like match day 6, not
yeah,
only does
true.
Sav have 5 matches, 5 scrims, apart from one because match day 1 scrim was like weird because of the update. Right? It's like I wouldn't even really look at that because you couldn't fucking throw utility. And then all of preseason. So that's another 4 matches, 3 scrims. Or 3
3 matches,
matches.
3 scrims. Yeah.
Well, yeah, 3 matches, 3 scrims because you
And
guys
that's
played a
assuming you
Mirage.
can get the demos for those because those were a little finicky.
So I mean, like all in all, like that's like 15 demos just on ABW.
Yeah. So the
But
way I'm currently sitting on it is you would have to take them to Nuke or Ancient.
well, I know one of those is not going to happen.
I know
So,
both of those aren't going to happen because I know Sav isn't going to let them take them to Nuke with nothing being shown on it, especially with how they played against us during the preseason on Nuke. I don't think they're going to allow Nuke to happen.
We'll see what happens. It's gonna be an
We'll see.
interesting pick ban.
It's gonna
Telling
be
you
fun.
right now,
We like to have
Cayman
fun
has
with
already
big
heat
bands.
mapped you guys.
Okay, well if his team wants to learn our strats for 4 maps, they can do that, but they're gonna have to.
all right. So that's a 3-1 in favor of ABW.
Spaghetti's Hawks.
Gotta go
All
Hawks
I
here.
I appreciate that, Jackson.
Ditto.
All I'm gonna
They're not
say
gonna.
is, go ahead.
I'm saying, I don't think this like Spaghettis have. They're forming, but they're not gonna form enough to beat you guys yet. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
tough. They got a tough schedule ahead of them, but I'd love to see them do it. You know what I mean? But I think Hawks have it.
Yeah. I will just say that, given the situations that have transpired and things like that we won't speak on, but I I've got some subs in my hat that might make this a little bit easier on me. Maybe I don't have to take all the brunt of the load, which would be nice. So, you know who you are out there. I'm looking at you. Thank you in advance.
Anime lover.
I won't speak.
um, I would love to see UPS win. Once again, I love those guys. I know that AVI is playing with a sub. But I also don't think that Noah's going to show up with a fucking fever that's running 104 and is not going to fuck this up for his team.
Jesus, buddy.
So
I'm also gonna drop 38 kills as well.
cool.
Throw that in there.
Cool. I'd love for you to drop 38. Still doesn't matter because I'm going to drop 39 that day, and so that way you still don't beat me in kills. You had me beat for like 3 hours when they didn't load my or didn't parse my demo.
Well, I hope I didn't. I only got fucking 15.
No. The Sav match didn't get the demo parsed.
Oh yeah, I was at like 109, 107.
And I have like 108.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I had you beat for that amount of time before they parsed my demo. Is what you have me beat for. So congrats.
I got you.
But I don't think you guys throw this. I think you guys take this in. You do what you say you're doing, which is looking at your options for subs. I think you probably bring them in over the weekend, try and get them acclimated. I don't think you show them the whole strat book because I think you know better than to do that. But I do think you bring them in, get them kind of acclimated, show them some important things, and rock from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, this is just, season 12 Noah, but, we all know how familiar I was with subs last season, and I was able to kind of plug and play. So I think, having to plug and play one sub is a lot easier than plug and play two
The
subs.
two, yeah.
So, which I think that's kind of what we'll benefit from. And I think it will be a good game. I think UPS is definitely on the up. And, we're kind of just like stagnant, you know? So we'll kind of have to see what happens. But I guess this is what? An AVI sweep?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yep. I have no
Even-
comments for this game.
Even my haters out there are saying it's a sweep, right, Shane?
I'm not an AVI hater. I just want him to lose so that my season's easier. It's nothing against the boys. It's just
I
like,
love,
man,
I love that you
understand-
say
hey,
that, and yet I
Shane.
told you that I wanted you to win.
Shane,
no, you said
do
you thought I'd win, and there's a difference.
You do understand that if you get first and they end up making play-ins, you very well could just face them in the first round of playoffs.
Who the hell
For
thinks I'm
who?
dropping that far?
What?
Or like, are you
I
smoking
don't think they're gonna
coke?
drop that.
You
I'm
don't
getting, like,
smoke
coke.
coke. Dumbass,
Yeah,
you
that's the
smoke
joke.
crack.
Oh my god. R/whoosh, bro.
R/fuck you and your
All I'm
fuck
saying is
you and your team.
if you think that AVI drops out of number 2 seeding contention is insane to me. Also,
Okay, let's say
ABW
you
still
even
could
drop to
lose.
fourth.
I'm not saying that they will, but I'm just saying ABW still it's not like their season is set in stone at the number 1.
If they drop to fourth, we would play them in the semifinal. If they drop
Yeah.
to third and they go all the way through, then we would play them in the final. So
Yeah.
this is either gonna be our second to last or last match of the season, assuming everything stands as is. We could slide to 4 and 5 or some shit. I doubt
unless
it, but
both you fucking go 2 and or unless you both end up at 2 and 3.
yeah,
Say
that
you
would
lose to
require that would
Sav.
require my team to lose a match. So
Yeah, that would
That
require
also
you
would
losing to
require
Sav
someone
here.
else. That would also mean someone else is like coming out.
No,
of the
because
fucking
if
woodwork.
everybody wins out the rest of the season between you, Sav, ABW, AVI, and Sav gets number 1 seed because
how
head
would-
to head.
How would but exactly that means ABW doesn't win out because that means that they would have to lose. So
They'd lose to Sav. That's what I mean.
yeah, but also I don't think but also head to head only matters if the record is the same.
Yes, and that would mean every single one of you only has 1 loss.
Right.
In your two
Also,
losses, each
just
one of you,
'cause-
your loss is Sav.
Just because I'm curious, not saying
Yeah.
this is going to happen, but let's just say, work with me here. ABW is 1, AVI is 2. Since there isn't a head to head, the seeding is then going to go to round win percentage.
Yep.
Which there's a chance. Like, I'm not saying it is because you have a 13-0, so it's probably not going to happen. But like, seeding could get swapped, Shane. I'm just going to say. So, you know,
You guys would have to get two basic. You basically have to get two 13-0s.
There's
We
still a lot
would-
of season left.
Yeah, we
for sure.
would
but-
have to talk about that after probably like match day 8 to get a better grip on
probably even
how round win
9,
percentage is looking.
Probably even 9.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely closer to the end. But yeah.
Anyway, yeah. What's that leave us with?
Tadpole versus Acolytes.
Hell.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I've played both
yeah.
these teams. Acolytes took 8 rounds off of us. Tadpole took 10. They were both tough to play against.
In my opinion, I have this as Frog winning.
I think that's the normal take.
Only really, I mean, and I wouldn't even say it's a normal take. Like, I also just think like they do also have like a lot also at stake. We're looking at two teams once again, 2 and 3, right next to each other in terms of standings, right? And I just think that right now, unless Hell can lock in the weekend, but they're arguably still saying that they're like a top 6 team, which is just not the case right now, nor are they playing like it. And I just think that if Hell can turn around this 13-4 that they had against DB tonight and be like, we're never letting that happen again, then I could see them winning. But like, Frog has had really, really tight games, like basically the whole season.
Yeah, Frog is a bitch to play against, which is props to them. But I think Hell has some people who can also make it a bitch to play against them. They just have to
Play the game.
Yeah, they just have to be playing. They just have to be dominating the pace of the game and pressuring the map well. And if they can do that, then that'll be another fucking banger game, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I expect that to be close, if nothing else.
Yeah. I definitely think it will be a good game to watch for sure. Enders?
I mean, Frog wins this. I mean, as long as they do pretty much. I'm not saying take them to Anubis, even though I know that's a very strong map for Frog. You know, even though they have 2 losses on it, it's still just a very strong map for them. I think they just either had a bad day in the case of match day 3, or they played one of, in my opinion, a top 2 team match day 4. So it's one of those rough days at the office, both those. And I think they can look at this Rift Raiders win over Acolytes on Anubis and just take it. Or they go to a map that they much prefer, and I still think they take it. I think they have a better team, better strats, better everything. So yeah, Frog.
That's a sweep there.
Oh nope,
Don't
I got
tell me
Hell.
Jackson's. No way you
Really?
have Hell.
I got Hell.
Really?
Yeah. I just think that like Frog could get. Look, I think someone has to descent here because this is going to be a close game, and if we have a clean sweep for Frog, I think that sends the wrong message because this is not a clean sweep type game.
Okay.
This game will not be clean, I should say. This game will be fucking gritty and close if it is played at these two teams' full potential, and I want to see Hell show us what that is.
All right. I think that kind of concludes our predictions there. I don't think we were planning on doing anything else, yeah?
No,
Yeah, I
that's
think
about it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
how
mean-
she goes.
Jackson, Shane, you guys have any closing little tidbits you want to throw out there? Other
No,
than Shane
nothing
saying
today.
ABW on top again.
ABW, only undefeated team. I want to check if we're the only undefeated team across CSE, but I sincerely doubt that. There are 6
doubt
tiers,
that.
so.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think across everything.
But I can say if you're watching the show, we're probably the best team in your tier right now. So I can't imagine there's a fucking non-recruit person watching this shit.
Hey, you
Let's
never know.
check. Let's check. Okay,
We've
so we
got
got 4-1. We got. Wait, I'm sorry. 4-1. Ah, fuck. Okay. Okay. All right. There's 2 other 5-0 teams right now in Challenger and Elite.
Yeah, wow.
Fuckers. Had to rain on my parade. We'll just have to win the next one so that we can be 6-0.
Keep grinding.
All right, Enders.
More Sudafed for me, please.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I guess that's it. That's cooked. I don't really have
Word.
anything. Yeah, man. This has been the Weekly Recruit. Thank you guys for coming in and listening in. I think that going forward, I think we probably will be doing this streaming format. I don't know. We'll kind of see, test the water, see what people like more. The streams right after, or popping up with a recording the next morning of, seeing what people like. But I guess that's it from us.